Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes are sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade, sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. There's a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Stack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish or Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Machegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes are sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Hi. Hello. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. How's everybody today? How you doing? I saw somebody say in the chat that they don't decorate their house for Halloween, so they give out full-size candy bars. That's amazing. I think that you're probably the most popular house in town for everyone to want to go trick-or-treating at. What's up, fam? What's up, people? Kate Peters in court today, and apparently Tim Bradl is going to be appearing for Lauren Murray, who is the victim, I guess, in this case of Kate Peters. This has to do with a restraining order that Lauren Murray got against Kate Peters, and maybe a violation of a restraining order when she drove by the courthouse because mistakenly Kate Peters' GPS took her by the courthouse, and she gave everybody the finger or something. I don't know. I can't even keep all of these things straight. But apparently there's no Zoom line. There's only that call-in line. So I have to call in to the conference call and wait for my master to start the call. Remember, my master? And there's a lot of cases on the calendar today in Dedham District Court. So we may sit through some other arraignments too. What I'm going to do right now for you, because I know you like receipts. Let's put the calendar up for you so you can see what's happening today. This is a public record. You can get this by going to the court website every morning, and it'll tell you all of the courses, all of the cases that are going to be heard that day. This is the daily list for Dedham District Court for Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, and that is today. And there were a bunch of things that happened this morning. And then we get to the 2 p.m. calendar. And as you can see, there are a lot of other defendants here. This is public record. I'm not doxing anybody. And here is the Catherine Peter hearing scheduled for 2 p.m. It's a hearing to review status. Here is the docket number. I don't think Aiden's there. I think Aiden had to go to court today in Atlantic City, New Jersey, because I think that the woman who was allegedly corresponding with or having an affair with, or not an affair, an emotional affair with Paul O'Keefe has filed some charges against him in Atlantic City. To be honest, I can't keep all of this straight. I just can't. So many things are popping off every single day. This afternoon for you at 5 o'clock, if you've been with me since the Maya Kowalski case, many of you know that from the Take Care of Maya documentary. The Maya Kowalski verdict of $260 million went up to the appeals court. It has been reversed by a Florida appellate court. We're going to go over that entire decision at 5 o'clock today. That is devastating for the Kowalski family. And the decision is something like 37 pages long. And that is very, very sad. Thank you, Tom, for becoming a new member. And look at on top, being on top of 2 super stickers this morning. You're awesome. And Nicole says, nowhere I'd rather be on my 41st birthday. Oh, Nicole Marie, you're a baby. Happy number 41. Happy number 41. It just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And that also is a Dave Matthews song, number 41. So you know what? Extra happy birthday to you. Let me just I'm gonna go on mute for a second. So everyone say happy birthday to Nicole Marie. Happy birthday, Nicole Marie. Mrs. Bouquet is here. I love you with all of my heart too. Happy anniversary to us. 18 months, Mrs. Bouquet. That's a long-term relationship. We're doing good. We're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. Thanks for being with me for so long. You're amazing. Hello to Harrison if he's watching today. And Indy Cindy is here for 6 months and says, hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Hey. I did call the clerk's office. And so she told me that she would be notifying the court clerk in the courtroom to turn on the conference call feature so that we're going to be able to hear it. But I remember at least one other time where we tried to do that. I'm just looking for my earbuds. Where did I put them? Because I need an earbud in. I literally just had them here, there. Where we've been on and they're like, your master, we're waiting for your master to start the call and your special master has not yet started the call. So hang on for your master. Debbie B caught alive. Yay. Aiden is not on Zoom. No, this is going to be Kate Peters' hearing. Thank you, Goodmans. Thank you for gifting a membership. I love you. I don't know if actually, if in Atlantic City, New Jersey, that is on Zoom. I have no idea, actually. So I can't answer that question. I'm not afraid to say I don't know when I don't know. But nobody provided me with that information. The information that I have is the Kate Peter hearing, and that's what we're here for now. And then I have the temporary orders on Kelsey Fitzsimmons with regard to child support and more. So if you have the details on that, try and keep from spoiling it in the chat for those people who haven't seen it, because 80% of my audience does not engage on Twitter. We know that because we did a poll one day. And so those who know probably know from Twitter. And those who don't know yet. Thanks, Melisa, for becoming a member. And thank you. I'm Just Jen says, I love your channel. Keep up the great work. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thanks. I'm going to put you on mute for a second so that I can get on with the court. So hang tight. Talk amongst yourselves. Be nice to each other. Hold on. The leader has not activated the conference, and I'm the only one on the call. So we're gonna see what happens. Julie finally caught alive. She's been on the replay crew, and we love the replay crew. We love it when you're chatting with us live, but we also love the replay crew because you guys do all the things. You guys do all the things that YouTube likes. Most blessed Gigi on earth is here, and she gifted 5 memberships. So welcome to the 5 new members who were so randomly gifted. Hang on a second. All right, misunderstood. You should be all set, as well as somebody else who sent me an email this morning. A sunflower day. You are all set. So Tim Bradl is apparently appearing today for Lauren Murray at this hearing. And many of you have sent that to me. And there's some really bad hold music on here that I'm not going to make you suffer through. But when, if ever, they do put us on, if you too are on the conference call or the party line or whatever you want to call it, please mute yourself. Just make sure you're muted. Penelope, I guess you were gifted a membership. Congratulations. She said, I didn't realize I had a membership. Melanie days are the best days. Oh, yay. Well, it's going to be a twofer today. It's going to be a twofer because we're going to do this. And we're going to talk about Kelsey Fitzsimmons and her temporary child support and custody order. Then we are going to pivot over at 5 o'clock to the Maya Kowalski appellate decision, which is very, very long and very, very devastating for the Kowalski family. How many of you have been here since Maya Kowalski? That was a long time ago. Robin says, I don't know who Lauren Murray is, but I'm here for it. Lauren Murray is a woman who has Kate Peter apparently has a beef with. Maybe somebody in the chat can explain it better than I can to Robin S. Just tag her in your answer. I don't know if the Kelsey stuff was on X because I got it directly from the docket. So really, I don't know that. A lot of people since Maya. It's a terrible case. It's a terrible case. If you don't know the case of Maya Kowalski, young girl who was diagnosed with CRPS, which is a very debilitating disease. Many people in the chat also have CRPS. And Maya Kowalski's mom, Beata Kowalski, did everything she could to try and get Maya a diagnosis and all kinds of different therapies. And she was doing K therapy for her, which we can't say that word with the K. It's the same thing that Matthew Perry was doing that caused his demise. And there came a time when Maya Kowalski was hospitalized. She was hospitalized many times, but this time it was at a hospital called J Hatch, John Hopkins All Children's Hospital in Florida. And there was a woman there by the name of Sally Smith, who was like a doctor who reported the mother to DCF, claiming that the mother had Munchausen and that she was torturing the daughter by giving her these treatments. The state of Florida took Maya away from her parents, would not let her parents see her. And as a result of that, Maya's mom, Beata Kowalski, took her own life. Very tragic. And the family sued the hospital. And they won what I think might have been the biggest verdict in Florida state history. It was over $260 million. And it went all the way up to the appellate court and it was reversed on appeal. So we're going to talk about that at 5 o'clock, but I'll give you a little bit better of a summary when I can. I'm still listening to that terrible hold music. We're just waiting. We're just waiting. She was an old friend of Turtle Boys. Turtle Cadet says Lauren Murray dealt with harassment by Kate Peter for at least a year before she took legal action against Kate Peter. No, you didn't miss anything, Christine. You don't have to restart. Or I'm on hold with the court, but it's such bad hold music that I don't want you guys to have to suffer through it. But I do need to change one thing on my settings here for you so that we can hear it. If it ever does, when, if ever, it does happen. Hold, please. We're all holding. We're all holding. Josie, I got your email. I can't do anything without a link to your channel, a link to your channel name. That's the only way that I can fix it, and I can only fix it on my phone. It's on a 24-hour hold period today, 24-hour waiting period for chat because of the horrific vitriolic stuff that's been going on in the chat and in other people's chats, like last night, which is something I need to clear up in Turtle Boy's chat. Like, do you think I'm not watching? Do you think I don't hear people talking about me? They're so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Somebody was spreading rumors about me last night. And I'm going to clear all that up at the end because I have receipts. I have the receipts on that. Yes, we can see you. I can see you. All of it's ridiculous. And I saw many of you over there defending me. And I do notice and I do appreciate you. Thank you. Letteros Babetero. That's right. You were one. You were one of them. How dare they? How dare they? Yeah, here he is. You're here. All right. Did you go to Atlantic City? What's the deets? I'm on. This is like a party line today for Kate Peters' hearing. And so I'm just waiting with the terrible hold music so I don't have to like force everyone to sit through it. But the criminal clerk did say they were going to tell the court clerk that I was going to call in so they would open up the line for me. But there's a lot of arraignments scheduled for 2 p.m., as you can see by this calendar here. Yeah, they were out there spreading a rumor that I was saying that Nan was sleeping with James Jackson, which is not something that I said. It's something that I mentioned on my members only, that why were people out there spreading that rumor? Because Nan said it on Tom's CPU stream, and I have the receipts on that. So there's that. I know people trying to create some kind of beef between Aiden and I, and there's no beef. So maybe get your beef somewhere else. And also, Aiden's like my little brother. Like sometimes I want to smack him around and tell him not to do stuff, but he's going to do it anyway. And I can't control him. They can try, but they won't succeed. We get along too well. I know. We don't always agree on every single topic, but listen, I'm a, Josie, again, your username is not going to do it. I need the actual link to your channel. You have to copy like the URL and send me the actual URL so that I can click on the link. It's the only way that I can fix it, and I can only fix it from my phone. We don't always agree on everything, but we do agree about free speech, and we do agree that you were set up and railroaded. In fact, I don't know if you heard my theory, but I think it was a bump. I think, like Donna Adelson and the bump. Remember how they bumped Donna Adelson by giving her that thing because they knew she'd react in a certain way, and then they could continue to catch Donna Adelson? That grand jury subpoena was 100%, in my opinion, a bump. It's what some other like law enforcement call a nudge, because they knew your trigger. They knew that you were going to react to that, and then they knew that they could twist it and formulate it into just a way for you to, in their mind and their twist, and however they would misconstrue it, to violate your bail conditions and put you in jail, because that's what Jennifer McCabe wanted. It was a bump and a nudge. And I'm going to say to you, my brother, my little brother, Bolo, just be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for nudges and bumps, because in my opinion, there may be some things going on right now that people are trying to bump you about. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. You're impulsive. I know you're impulsive. And I know that you react. You're like me. We react to things, right? And sometimes we react to things in a way that we need to just take a step back and think about it before we react, because I think from what I'm hearing, from what people are sending me, there may be some bumps that are just people are trying to do it to you. And I know you're not going to hopefully fall for it, but you just got to be on the lookout. Turtle bump. The bump and run. The bump and run was the old fashioned, like people who used to like make up car accidents. They would do like the bump and run. And then they had these doctors that were involved in these scandals, and then they'd make up these fake personal injury cases and then try and get money and then all split the money. That's right, Laura. They're trying to get the good ones to be quiet. Yep. And get the reaction that they want. He prefers the bump and grind. See, he knows to keep it clean. He can keep it clean on here. But listen, there's people that are trying to trigger you, I think. So just like, I don't know. My philosophy is don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody. And don't bump the turtle. Don't bump the turtle. And you should always listen to your big sister. That's right, because I've been through it. I know how these people operate. Emily says, Turtle Boy, I think, hey, Turtle. She says, hey, Turtle. Listen, Turtle. I think the bumping grind has gotten you in trouble in the past. That's why I always say it's the bitches that'll get you. It's the bitches that'll get you. Everyone just needs to be on the lookout. Be on the lookout and like say to yourself when you're reading some of this BS online. Here's the BS button for you. Why are these people saying this? Who's going to benefit from this? What is the benefit to this? What are they trying to gain? Just makes no sense. I don't get it. Everyone's here for the same reason and same end goal. And the end goal is justice for John O'Keefe. Okay. John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. So therefore, something else happened to John O'Keefe. Okay. Process of elimination. Let's use our context clues. Something else happened to John O'Keefe. That was not a car accident. And we want justice for John O'Keefe because we want whoever's responsible for John O'Keefe's murder to be prosecuted. That's the end goal. That's all we all care about here. So what the duck? That's it. That's all we want. And division, we're stronger together than divided. So I don't understand the motivation behind some people who really want to just rip everything apart. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Hey, everyone. Prayers up for the Kowalski family, says Aqua E, member for 4 months. Thanks for being here for 4 months. I'm still on hold. Don't worry. Gigi says, YouTube unsubscribe me again. I cannot chat. But whoever is thanking me for the memberships, you are welcome. Sorry, I can't open it up. I can't open it up because here's what happens. The people that are so vitriolic and hating and hateful and just want to come on here and tell me how ugly I am and fat and old. Wait, hold on. They took me off hold. So what had happened was I'm hearing nothing. Did they cut me off? Thanks, TG. They want to come on here and they'll wait however long it is to just come on here and insult me. And I don't play that game. And so if you're sending me an email that you're blocked right now, even if I unblock you, you're not going to be able to chat. So just, deal with it for one day. There's a farm down the road. Get your beef there. Says better with the Irish. Well, something happened. They took me, they took the hold music off. But now there's nothing. I might have to call in again. I'm gonna go on mute and try and call again because they took me off the hold music, but then maybe they just disconnected me because I was talking to you guys. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on the call and there's another person on the call too, but there's no audio on the call yet. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to start the audio maybe when they call her case. I know if you guys think I'm muted, you're behind. You're behind. Everything's fine now. So we're just waiting. Thanks, Allison, for being a member for 7 months. The waiting is the hardest part. Thanks, Courtney, for your super sticker. Courtney H. Courtney H says, Melanie, if YouTubers have an issue with each other, why don't they just pick up the phone and talk directly? I don't know. I guess because drama sells. Because there's a certain clientele, as it were, or a certain set of viewers that's very interested and loves the drama. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't get it. Because it's not interesting to me. Nicole watched the microdots on Turtle Boy twice yesterday. How can anyone say anything at this point is BS? I haven't watched it yet. It's pretty long, right? It's an hour. I haven't had an hour to sit down and watch it, and I wanted to watch it uninterrupted. And so I heard it's really good. All of you guys like it. So highly recommend that you guys go watch Microdot's latest creation that is all about Aiden Carney getting set up, I think. West Virginia says, I don't think everyone knows their channel and how to find it. Whose channel are we talking about? Microdots? Thanks for your 5. Kay Willis is here. She gifted 5 memberships. And in fact, she's a realtor south of Boston. So if you need to get the hell out of there, she's your girl. And she recently wrote me an email and she said, I just got a listing because somebody heard about me on your show. So, hey, look, women helping other women, right? That's what we do here. That's what we try and do anyway. Because there's so many other women there that just want to rip other women down. And I find that to be vile and disgusting. So thank you, Kay, for gifting 5 memberships and for being there for anybody who wants to get the hell out of Massachusetts. Mimi says, good afternoon, Melanie and Cupcakes. Good afternoon. Mrs. M. Hilton became a member. Welcome. Stacy says, I met another cupcake on my cruise a few weeks ago. It was so cute when I asked if she listened to you. And she said, yes. What are the chances? Their chances are pretty good, depending on where you are. Somebody said that they, like in Ireland, they met someone who was listening to me, like in the other aisle in the supermarket, and it was wild. Nobody recognizes me here in New York, but I guess in Massachusetts, it's different. But that's crazy that you were on a cruise together. Thanks, Stacy. Pete says, God bless you, Melanie and family, and thank you for your insight and wisdom. Thank you for tuning in from down under, Pete Watson, and I appreciate you so very much. Leave the drama at the door, says happy hump day. Thanks for covering the hearings. I'm trying. If they would turn on the audio, that'd be great. But there's a long calendar, as you can see from the calendar that I have up here. I don't know if they're going to call them in order. If they are, then she would be, let's see, 2 o'clock. She would be the 4th hearing. If she's complained to the court that she thinks that people are going to be listening, maybe they're not going to turn it on. I don't know. She's done that before, right? The most blessed Gigi on earth says, I know it's not your fault. Whoever says anything bad about you must live in their grandma's basement. I would defend you in a second. Stupid seems to be more contagious than the flu. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like my kids used to say about people that hang around on Reddit, or like, 30-year-old men with neck beards who live in their mother's basement. I mean, that's kind of like what it is. These could be women with beards, quite frankly. I wouldn't put anything past them. Thanks for your 10. Thanks for sending me an email, Pinky. Thank you. Thank you very much. I can't always look at it in the middle of a stream, but I will try. I will look for it when I can. What else? Neck beards. I know those neck beards are it's like there's no beard up here, but there's a beard down here. Why? Why? Sunflower Day. Oh, I fixed you. Said, I love how it showed how calm Aiden was and protected the kids instead of just leaving. Yeah, in the Microdots video. I knew he was innocent. It made me respect him even more. I've heard that audio before. I heard it, I think, when he when he first played it. Whenever, and I can't remember when that was. It might have been right before he went to jail. Right when it happened. And I remember thinking, this woman isn't like in the middle of some sort of mental health break. Like it's chilling to listen to because it's so disturbing that you can't unhear it. And you're right. He didn't leave. Broken Baker and the Glare have a Zoom link. Okay, well, how come when I called the court, they said there's no Zoom link? Should I call the court again? Hold on. They told me there was no Zoom link, but it's like every time I call in, I get a different person on the phone and they give me a different answer. Well, that looks like he's in a different court. Is he on the Kate Peter hearing or is he on a different hearing? They told me, all right, I'm going to call the court again. No, I didn't see the can because I don't know if anybody even Dedham District Court. All right, let me call the court again. They told me it's only a call-in, so I have this.
That's correct, Your Honor. Aviator Virtual Counsel. After speaking to my supervisor, my understanding that speaking of our self-service conflict was a relationship that this victim had with another party. That relationship terminated, and because of that, I'm believing conflict has it.
Okay, counsel, I am assuming that you have full understanding conflict of interest. And you have discussed that with your client. And are you satisfied that and have you also discussed that at the Norfolk Attorney's Office have a conflict and gone over with her what, if any, implications that would have if there is no. You've explained that to her, understand that? Okay. And you are not objecting to the Attorney's Office.
I think this is a different case.
There is no conflict now. Okay, Attorney Bradl, are you in agreement with all that? I know you don't necessarily have standing on that,
It's
but
Brenda.
I just wanted to check.
Sure, Judge, we do object
To the conflict
to
issue.
the conflict and to a couple of things, but I think you just
Let's
mentioned
start with
about
the conflict. I I haven't even processed.
So Judge, it was just proffered to me by the Comeau. And let me just state, I have no beefs with the Comeau counsel or defense counsel doing a great job as always for his client. Our beef is with the Middlesex, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office with respect to the handling of the case. With respect to just the conflict, Your Honor, the stated conflict is not correct. It was just proffered to you that the victim had a relationship with someone else they're prosecuting. It's my other claim.
I wasn't even told who the conflict was with someone else.
That's completely baseless because that relationship was over when the district attorney's office first stated there was a conflict and appointed someone. That relationship was long over. So that's not a basis. There's no change circumstance with respect to that relationship. That relationship was over when district attorney's office announced they had a conflict, appointed a special prosecutor. There's no change circumstances relative to the conflict. Here's the conflict, Your Honor.
Sure.
If you want to go listen to Baker, go listen to Baker, okay?
Defendant here.
I'm doing
In
this
our
for now.
Other case, is the government.
All you can see on that is the Zoom, is the judge.
Participating in the investigation.
We can rewind it then. Jesus Christ.
Is in contact regularly with the investigator in the Carney matter.
It's being prosecuted
Exactly.
by the Norfolk County.
Yes.
Office.
Yes,
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
yes. And
Miss Peter is working in Norfolk.
I know you're trying to help. I'm doing what I'm doing. If you want to go watch Baker, go watch Baker. But if I keep talking to you, we can't hear the fucking hearing. Jesus Christ.
Your Honor, because in this case, they supposedly are trying to prosecute her. And in that case, they are trying to bolster her as a credible Comeau witness. So the patent conflict of interest that they're ignoring here, and I think it's sort of evidence of the conflict of interest itself, that they just want to groom this case with a disposition that I'd like to be heard on.
And I promise you will.
I know.
Plenty of times we've heard on that. I just, before we even get to, I want to make sure that everyone, myself included, understands the conflict and has had a right to.
So just last thing,
No, go ahead.
sorry. That's the conflict, but to the extent that Ms. Peter, the defendant, was to receive any sort of what we would contend is a legitimate disposition, that this disposition would be vulnerable later to a claim that there was a conflict and it could get vacated later. So the majority of the victim here has an interest in wanting to secure a conviction or a plea or whatever could happen, has some integrity to it, since that the government wasn't prosecuting its agent in this case and then trying to bolster the agent. That's the issue in terms of, doing a plea that has a poison pill to it that's just going to blow up. But thank you, Mark, for hearing.
Okay. So Adrian, Gershon, what do you?
Guys, to be perfectly frank, I was unaware of any allegations or ideas of this. I didn't work with our officer with any sort of prosecution. That may be true, it may not be true. I was unaware of that. So, given that, Your Honor, I know this is already the second date. It might be beneficial. Get another date to you.
It's Bradl. He's representing Lauren Murray.
Would you like to make?
Judge, I just spoke to my client, she's working with Norfolk County DA's office, and clearly not working. Fabrication. This is a case where involved alleged victim is the same alleged victim in a case where a special my client is serving district court for an exact similar charge on similar facts in the case. That case was dismissed for similar disposition. The victim is not present during that disposition. The Bradl was not present for that disposition. That case is similar type disposition.
Okay, so I think you're just fine. So with assistant district attorney indicating to me that they were unaware of what Attorney Bradl indicated that they're requesting time to that is what the conflict was and why the case special, not going to proceed beyond the conflict. I think it's imperative to everyone involved, and also to the court, that we have an answer to whether there needs to be a special prosecutor to continue to prosecute this case, or there is no longer. So we're going to pick another date, and I'm very hopeful that on the next date, there will either be a special prosecutor here, or there will be a final answer. And everyone is comfortable that there is no law.
If I may just, on that point, I request that the government be required to answer writing the affidavit of what they're.
I'm not going to order them today to put in writing in form of an affidavit. If in a future date there's error, then you can always bring that up.
I just want to tell you, we'll have the same. You know, it's a shame that the line prosecutor on the case is kept in the dark about these. I mean, he's got enough to do in this court, as I see. But, you know, these are issues that have been fleshed out in this court.
So, and part of the reason why I'm not going to order that is it's possible. So what I was told 2 weeks ago, ADA was no longer with the call.
We're going to replay the video in a minute. If everyone would just keep their pants on, that'd be great.
And then I believe this is in. Okay.
So Your Honor, I guess, obviously, if the Comeau comfortable going forward with it.
They don't have microphones.
The Brenda said, first line, please. But if DA looking for data, I have no objection to that. Obviously, want more information.
So I think we don't. Well, I guess when they're early, I think we might be in this.
November 25th, if not the first week of December.
November 25th.
That works for the Commonwealth. And if it's a change, that works.
Yes.
And your case is to be continued to Tuesday, November 25th, 2025 at 2 p.m. for status use background mandate for all that was up today.
All right, November 25th at 2 p.m. Hang on. We're going to replay. We're going to restream Baker's video. And like I said, if you want to go watch Baker, please go give him the view. That is fine with me. I would appreciate that. I have more subs than Baker does. I would love for Baker to get more views and more subs. So that'd be that. You can do that. I did email him for the Zoom link. He didn't get back to me in time because you know what? He's streaming. He's in the middle of a stream. But since he said I could restream his stream, we'll do that now. But you know what? I would rather let him get the live views instead of me. So listen, everyone needs to just take a freaking chill pill. Hold on. What I need to do is restart my browser because StreamYard is giving me an error message that it lost connection to my audio for the reshare. So stay where you are or go watch Baker. That's fine with me too. I got to reload my browser. So hold on. Okay. I don't know if Blair ever did get it or if he didn't get it. I'm not really quite sure. I don't really know. What I know is somehow I called the court 3 times, 3 separate times. And every time I called, they told me there was no Zoom feed. So I don't know if Baker has a special person over there who opens it just for him. I don't know. But here's what we're going to do now. And you're going to give Baker a sub and a like for letting us restream the stream that we just listened to that we couldn't really hear on the phone.
Good afternoon, ADA Drew Virtue for the Commonwealth.
I think I have this on high speed for some reason. I'm not sure why. No, it's normal, but here we go. This is the judge. I'm not sure of her name because her name's not on the calendar. So if anybody knows, let me know. But here we go.
Your Honor, Timothy Bradl, yes, the victim in the matter, filing.
Oh, so you filed it here
I
on
did.
behalf of, okay, great. Okay. So it's my understanding,
Can we hear it?
that there are individuals from the media, I'm not sure how many there are, who have asked permission to video record this hearing as well as take still photographs. I have been informed that they are certified by, the Supreme Judicial Court. So I will hear from you first, any objection to them filming and or taking still.
No objection from the Commonwealth, Your Honor.
How about you, Kelsey?
No objection, this is for.
Okay, and how about you, Attorney Bradl?
No objection.
Okay, then, the individuals who are here from the media, may film and audio video record, that is, and take stills. Same rules apply as the last time, which I think this was on about 2 weeks ago. So again, no filming of the gallery, just this particular proceeding. Okay, so before I have a green.
I'm surprised Kate Peter didn't object. So apparently there's media in the courtroom. Baker was lucky enough to have somebody give him the Zoom feed. They told me there wasn't one. I had to call the party line. The party line never came on. I'm surprised Kate Peter didn't get up and said, I don't want anybody taking my still photos. I don't want anybody streaming my hearings. I don't want anybody recording me. But her lawyer, she has a lawyer, and he's there. And he said, it's okay with us, Your Honor.
Sheet in front of me, but before we get into that, I would first like to hear from the Commonwealth. When we were here last time, I was informed that there had been a special prosecutor assigned to this case. That prosecutor, I believe, was from Plymouth County. It was no longer with the Plymouth County DA's office, and the Norfolk DA's office wasn't sure if they still had a conflict of interest in the case.
That's correct, Your Honor. 88 Drew Roach for the Commonwealth. After speaking to my supervisor, it's my understanding that the reason our office felt there was a conflict was a relationship that this victim had with another party. That relationship has since terminated, and because of that, this conflict, my office does not believe we have a conflict as of today.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? We thought we had a conflict because Kate Peter had a relationship with somebody, but she no longer has a relationship with this person. So we no longer have a conflict. Am I in the upside down, inside out Narnia of Norfolk, Massachusetts? I think I am. Who was it that she had a relationship with that she no longer has a relationship with? Tully? That doesn't excuse you from a conflict. Who is this ADA? Who is this ADA? And who was the special prosecutor for her? Was it Cosgrove? Hold on a second. I got to hear that again.
Reason our office felt, after speaking to my supervisor, it's my understanding that the reason our office felt there was a conflict was a relationship that this victim had with another party.
The relationship this victim had with another party. Oh, Lauren Murray? The relationship that Lauren Murray had with Turtle Boy, and they no longer have a relationship, and so therefore they don't have a conflict anymore? The victim is Lauren, right? Lauren, Aiden and Lauren dated for a while, but just because they no longer have a relationship would not resolve the district attorney's office of their conflict. I'm living in, this is insanity. And he got up there and said that in good faith? Mello was her special prosecutor too? No, Mello could not have been her special prosecutor because she was communicating with Mello. And she was like in cahoots with Mello. So that seems impossible. I have to hear this again. Right. It is a conflict of interest for anyone in the Norfolk DA's office to prosecute Kate Peter, because if you believe what you've been hearing, Kate Peter has been working with the DA's office. We know that she was in text messages with Tully and Mello and Lindsay Gattani. They are confused. Who is this ADA? Is it his first day on the job? Hold on. The special prosecutor was from Plymouth County. Thank you. We're in the land of confusion is what we are.
A prosecutor, I believe, was from Plymouth County and was no longer with the Plymouth County DA's office. And the Norfolk DA's office wasn't sure if they still had a conflict of interest in the case.
They do.
That's correct, Your Honor. 88 Drew Virtue of the Commonwealth. After speaking to my supervisor, it's
Sounds like
my
math.
understanding that the reason our office felt there was a conflict was a relationship that this victim had with another party. That relationship has since terminated, and because of that, this conflict, my office does not believe we have a conflict as of today.
Okay. Counsel, I am assuming that you have a full understanding of the conflict of interest in this case. Is that correct?
I do.
And you have discussed that with your client. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And are you satisfied that the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office no longer has a conflict of interest?
I do. I've spoken with Norfolk County District Attorney about this prior to today as well as the previous day.
And have you also discussed with your client the fact that the Norfolk District Attorney's Office believes they don't have a conflict anymore, and gone over with her what, if any, implications that would have if there is no conflict? You have explained that to her and she understands that? Okay.
Okay. Thank God Bradl was there today because like Robin is saying in the chat, once a conflict, always a conflict. That's not how conflicts work. This is almost like an attorney thinking that it's okay to share a voicemail of a potential client with a person who is accused of harassing that exact person. That is almost the land of confusion and ridiculousness that I am hearing right now. Thank God Bradl was there.
And you are not objecting to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, since there is no conflict, now handling this case?
No, Judge.
Okay, Attorney Bradl, are you in agreement with all that? I know you don't necessarily have standing on that, but I just wanted to check in with you as well.
Sure. Judge, we do object and
To the conflict
to the
issue?
conflict and to a couple of.
I told last time, please send an email so I can respond. I'm live streaming right
So
now.
Judge, it was just proffered to me by the Comeau. And let me just state, I have no beef
Again,
with the
I'm
Comeau
live streaming.
counsel or
Please
the defense
Like
counsel.
people, not only are people bothering me about him streaming, but they're now sending super chats to Baker to send me the link, which is so rude because it's like, Baker, we want to watch Melanie instead of you. So can you send her, like, it's just like, I think we need to like, establish some sort of like YouTuber like protocol and like viewer protocol and like the guidelines around which viewers should like behave. I had it on he had it there. Go look at him. Go look at me. Don't send him super chats to interrupt his flow and his live stream to tell him to do something for me. He's not your secretary. He's not your secretary. And I'm not your secretary. And I'm doing what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time and I know how to do it. And don't think I'm being rude to you. I'm just trying to explain to you natural, etiquette. Okay. Because he said we could restream it. I'm restreaming it now. I would prefer to be kind and let people go watch it over there live. Let him have the views. Okay. He's a great guy. He does wonderful work. That is not a nice thing to do. And to pay, I'm not calling you out specifically, to pay him money to stop what he's doing, to read a message, to send me the link so that you can watch with me instead of him. It's just like, who does that? I mean, it's just not nice. Everybody just think about it. Okay? Everybody just stop and think before you hit go, before you hit send. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I just like, look, we're here, we're watching it. It's all good, right? It's all good.
Me a DM if you need the link. I've said that
Our
before.
beef is with the Middlesex.
I'm sorry,
the
Baker.
Norfolk County
I'm sorry.
District Attorney's Office, Your Honor, with respect to
And
the
they are
handling of
welcome
this
to
case.
restream my
With
stream
respect
if
to
they
just the
need the
conflict,
feed.
Your Honor,
Okay.
the stated conflict it's not correct. It was just proffered to you that the victim had a relationship with someone else they're prosecuting. It's my other client, Ian Carn.
I wasn't even told.
And then it caused him to talk over the stream. So we really don't know what, it's just like, come on, give the guy a break.
It turns out, Your Honor, with respect to
And
the
they are
handling of
welcome
this
to
case.
restream my
With
stream
respect
if
to
they
just the
need the
conflict,
feed.
Your Honor,
Okay.
the stated conflict it's not correct. It was just proper to you that the victim had a relationship with someone else they're prosecuting. It's my other client, Ian Carn.
I wasn't even told who the conflict was, that it
Sure.
was someone they were prosecuting.
That's completely baseless because that relationship was over when the district attorney's office first stated there was a conflict and appointed someone. That relationship was long over. So that's not a basis. There's no changed circumstance with respect to that relationship. That relationship was over when the district attorney's office announced they had a conflict, appointed a special prosecutor. There's no changed circumstances relative to the conflict. And here's the conflict, Your Honor.
Sure.
The conflict is that the defendant, Ms. Peter, in our other case with Mr. Carney, is a government agent. She's participating in the investigation of the Carney matter. She is in contact regularly with the investigators in the Carney matter.
That's being prosecuted
Exactly.
by the Norfolk County District Attorney's
Yes.
Office?
Yes,
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding it correctly.
yes. And
Miss Peter is working with the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office
correct.
in a case
Yes.
against Aiden Carney, and
Correct.
you believe that's the conflict?
That's the conflict, Your Honor, because in this case, they supposedly are trying to prosecute her. And in that case, they are trying to bolster her as a credible Commonwealth witness. So it's a patent conflict of interest that they're ignoring here. And I think it's sort of evidence of the conflict of interest itself that they just want to broom this case with a disposition that I'd like to be heard on.
I promise you will get
I know, thank you.
plenty of time to be heard on that. Before we even get to a disposition,
Sure.
I want to make sure that everyone, myself included, understands the conflict and has had a right to be heard.
Right, so just last thing,
No, go ahead.
sorry. That's the conflict, but to the extent that Ms. Peter, the defendant, was to receive any sort of what we would contend is a legitimate disposition, that disposition would be vulnerable later to a claim that there was a conflict and it could get vacated later. So Ms. Murray, the victim here, has an interest in just wanting to secure a conviction or a plea or whatever's going to happen that has some integrity to it, in the sense that the government wasn't prosecuting its agent in this case and then trying to bolster the agent in the other case. So that's the issue in terms of, doing a plea that has a poison pill to it that's just going to blow it up later. So thank you, Your Honor, for hearing.
Yeah, a poison pill. Thank God, thank God Bradl was there today. He did not represent Lauren Murray in any other hearing before this, but he probably did it pro bono because that's the kind of guy he is. We love Tim Bradl because this judge would have relied on the Norfolk DA's office and Kate Peters' defense attorney to determine there was no conflict and they could accept whatever her plea agreement was. But that ain't the case. And the reason is because Kate Peter is working for the Norfolk DA's office to prosecute Aiden Carney. And so they can't waive that conflict. They've admitted that she's working for them. She's admitted that she's working for them. It's an unwaivable conflict. And it doesn't matter that the victim in this case is Lauren Murray and not Aiden Carney. It's an unwaivable conflict. I didn't say anyone was rude. I know you did it in good faith. Everyone did it in good faith. I understand. I'm just trying to explain to you that it was not a nice thing to do to Baker and not a nice thing to do to me when everyone's trying to tell us what to do. You don't understand how, if you think this is easy, come sit in my chair for one day and do a live stream with a million things going on. It's hard work. And so all of the, just let us do it. Okay. Just let us do it. We know what we're doing. I appreciate that you're trying to help, but it's not that you're not helping. It's not helpful. Not helpful. Okay. Cause you don't understand. I got 50 things going on and all kinds of, I have it under control. Okay. I know I do because there's people in the chat that are going, I should be like Emily Baker and not watch the chat. she's so good. She's so good, Emily, the way she does it, because she doesn't let the chat distract her, and I do. All right, you cannot waive that conflict. Thank God Tim Bradl was there, because this judge would have let this case go forward and Lauren would have had no one standing up for her, not even an alleged victim witness advocate, if she even has one in this case. And this is Dedham District Court, which apparently does have Zoom. So somebody needs to tell who was ever in the criminal clerk's office that, you know, that they do have Zoom.
Okay, so ADA Virtue, what do you have to say to that?
Your Honor, to be perfectly frank, I was unaware of I don't any allegations or ideas of this defendant working with our office or with any sort of prosecution. That may be true, it may not be true. I was unaware of that.
Okay.
So, given that, Your Honor, I know this is already the second date. It might be beneficial to get another date for me to sort of explore that in my office.
Doesn't that guy sound exactly like Mazza? That guy is the ADA, and he sounds exactly like Mazza. And now I can't unhear it.
And would you like to be heard?
Judge, I just spoke to my client. She's not working with the Norfolk County DA's office as an agent. She's clearly not working with the Norfolk DA's office. It's fabrication on behalf of the alleged victim. This is a case where it involves an alleged victim.
Dude. Okay, who's going to report him? Who is this ADA? Is Mastad here? He says that is not true that Kate Peter is working for the DA's office. That is not true. Dude, we've got the papers. We read all the papers. We've got text messages. We've got all kinds of things. We've got Kate Peter emailing Tully file clips about Aiden Carney. Are you kidding me? Hold on.
Get another date for me to sort of explore that in my office.
And would you like to be heard?
Judge, I just spoke to my client. She's not working with the Norfolk County DA's office as an
Oh, Kate Peter says she's not working with the Norfolk DA's office. Kate Peter says that? Kate Peter says that she's not working for the DA's office. We've got the receipts. We've got emails. We've got her sharing files with them and changing names of files maybe. What? Okay, here's the attorney. Here's her attorney according to Mass Courts. His name is Richard McLeod, McLeod. If that's in Hingham, if that's still her attorney. She's not working with them. Okay. Bradl's face must be on fire right now, and we can't see it because there's only a camera on the judge. I gotta take that back.
Another date for me to sort of explore that in my office.
That's
And would you like
ADA.
to be heard?
Judge, I just spoke to my client. She's not working with the Norfolk County DA's office as an agent. She's clearly not working with the Norfolk DA's office. It's fabrication on behalf of the alleged victim. This is a case where it involves.
It's a fabrication on behalf of the alleged victim, Lauren Murray. It's a Lauren Murray is making up a story that Kate Peter works for Norfolk County DA's office. Wow, this is much more exciting than I thought it was going to be today because I could barely hear it on the party line. Right. Just maybe she's not working with him today, but she did in the past, and that still doesn't waive the conflict.
An alleged victim. She was the same alleged victim in a case where a special prosecutor prosecuted my client in Dedham District Court for an exact similar charge with almost similar facts in the case. That case was dismissed for similar disposition. The victim was not present during that disposition. Mr. Bradl was not present for that disposition, and that case has since been dismissed with a similar type disposition.
You're lucky Bradl wasn't there last time.
Okay, so I have your client would like to speak to you.
Looks like your client needs to speak to you. Hold on.
Okay, so I have your client would like to speak to you.
Oh, is Kate Peter now going to correct him and say, oh, I take that back. Everyone knows. The whole world knows that I've been working for the Norfolk DA's office. No, actually, I heard Tom CPU is not able to go to court today because he had something come up. He wasn't able to be there. Unless it changed.
So with the assistant district attorney indicating to me that they were unaware of what Attorney Bradl indicates are the facts, and they are requesting time to determine whether or not that is what the conflict was and why the case was assigned to a special. I'm not going to proceed beyond the conflict issue. I think it's imperative to everyone involved and also to the court that we have an answer to whether there needs to be a special prosecutor to continue to prosecute this case, or there is no longer a conflict. So we're going to pick another date, and I'm very hopeful that on the next date, there will either be a special prosecutor here, or there will be a final answer that everyone is comfortable with, that there is no.
If I may just, on
Go
that
ahead.
point, could I request that the government be required to answer in writing via an affidavit of what their position is?
Yeah.
I'm not going to order them today to put in writing in the form of an affidavit what their position is. If in a future date there's concern, then you can always bring that up in the future.
Sure, I just want to tell you, we'll have the same concern, Bill, in terms of, you know, it's a shame that the line prosecutor on the case is kept in the dark about these issues.
Right.
You know, I mean, he's got enough to do in this court, as I see all the time when I'm here, but, you know, these are issues that have been fleshed out in the Superior Court.
No, and part of the reason why I'm not going to order that is it's possible. So what I was told 2 weeks ago is the ADA in Plymouth County, who was assigned to this case as a special, was no longer with the office. It is possible on the next date we have a special prosecutor here, and then I believe this isn't an issue anymore.
I understand, thank you.
Okay.
So Your Honor, I have, obviously, if the Comeau would look for a deed, and again, I've had extensive conversations with the Norfolk County DA's office. They were comfortable going forward today with their, as Mr. Brady said.
That's Kate Peterslor. Thanks, Broken Baker, for letting us restream this. You're the greatest. That's Kate Peters' lawyer. And he says, I've spoken with the Norfolk County DA's office a number of times, and they're comfortable going forward with this. Okay, that doesn't, just because they're comfortable going forward with this, that doesn't make it acceptable. In no world would it be acceptable for the Norfolk DA's office to reach a plea bargain with Kate Peter, who is a woman who we know has been working with the Norfolk DA's office to perhaps incarcerate Aidan Carney and providing them all kinds of information against Aidan Carney, having the personal cell phone numbers of, I don't know, Brian Tully, Ken Mello, who was another special prosecutor who was hired to prosecute Aidan Carney. That conflict does not go away because the Norfolk DA's office feels comfortable. That's not how it works. I think everybody needs like an ethics lesson and a whole course in the rules of professional responsibility. What are we watching? This is insane. The Plymouth special prosecutor is no longer with the office. Okay, so they couldn't give it to somebody else in that office. They have a lot of attorneys there, right?
Attorney Brenda, first line DA.
Hold on.
With tensions with the Norfolk County DA. Obviously, if the Comeau.
This isn't an issue anymore.
I understand, thank you.
Okay.
So Your Honor, I have, obviously, if the Comeau would look for a deed, and again, I've had extensive conversations with the Norfolk County DA's office. They were comfortable going forward today with their, as Mr. Brady said, Attorney Brenda said, first line DA. But if the DA is looking for a deed, I have no objection to that, obviously, and he wants more information from his superiors, he will have that.
So I think we don't, I guess, when's our earliest date? I think we might be in December.
We have November 25th, the Tuesday, if not the first week of December, excluding December 3rd.
November 25th is time, we could be put it on before.
And that works for the Commonwealth?
That works for the Commonwealth,
And if it's a change of plea, would that work for you, Attorney Brady?
Yes, that's fine, thank you.
Ma'am, your case is going to be continued to Tuesday, November 25th, 2025 at 2 p.m. for status hearing. After on that date, you are all set with us today.
You're all set.
Thank you.
Commonwealth versus Daniel Parma, Attorney Telesia.
You're all set. Like Cosgrove's reverse mortgage says, in other words, they can't make a deal with their own operative. No, they can't. That is a conflict that is not waivable. Apparently, last time this case was on, which was 10/17, they were going to reach some sort of a plea bargain. until this potential conflict was brought up. So it was put over until today, which is October 29th. And now it's going to be put over again until November 25th, which, as I recall, I think is a pretty busy day. I think there's a couple of other hearings on that day too. That is like 2 days before Thanksgiving. And maybe they'll be able to get another special prosecutor by then. But it took Tim Bradl to come in to represent Lauren Murray's interests to bring this conflict to this judge's attention. And I'm not sure who the judge is, but according to, I mean, it doesn't even really say. Last time it was in front of a judge named Courtney Linehan. So I'm not sure if this is also Courtney Linehan. But on the 17th, there was a tender of the plea that was filed. I don't think I have a copy of that because I don't think it was ever signed because there is this conflict. And round and round and round we go. It boggles my mind that the ADA said that they don't think they have a conflict anymore. They didn't try to find a prosecutor, right? And they won't this time either. I mean, Lauren is a friend of Turtle Boys. Yes, that is true. Thank you, Betsy, for your 10. You make my day even more. Thank you for all that you do. Christine, thank you. Thank you for telling me that broke again. Thunderhorse, yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We worked it out. We always do work it out. Darth Tater's mom became a new member. Welcome. Proctor got waffled. Says, I've been enjoying this ride so far for 6 months. Hey, maybe going to hell in a bucket, but at least I'm enjoying the ride. Darth Tater's mom, thanks for your Tony. Mel, hubby, and I watch all the time, horrified what we are learning about Arkansas, but knowledge is power. Thank you. Yeah, Arkansas is horrific. Oklahoma's horrific. Massachusetts is horrific. And Mrs. Bouquet says, with Melanie, we stand. Thank you for your super chat. And Alicia says, I adore you. You're my spirit animal. Damn, girl, you made my day. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything. Lola the Good Dog says, for Christmas, we should give Norfolk County Courts a tutorial and live streaming and Zooms as a gift. Yeah, somebody pointed out, maybe they just don't want me having the Zoom link. And maybe when I call, my name comes up in the caller ID. I don't even know. Maybe I got to start blocking my number. How do you block your number? It's like *67 or something. I don't know. Big Old Dog says, are they trying to argue she was working with Mello, who's independent? Yeah, no, I don't even think this ADA, whoever was there today, even knows the full extent of it. But Mello is not really independent, first of all, right? And wasn't Kate also communicating with Tully? And Tully is connected to the Norfolk DA's office. There's really no getting around it. There's really no getting around it. This does run so deep. We should. I mean, listen, Lola, you remember before Karen Reed's first trial, that Norfolk Superior Court had just gotten Wi-Fi like the week before that trial started. So they're really behind the times. Kim McMillan, can you explain the implications of what Lorferio sharing the voicemail means? I'm going to star that one for later because I don't want to go off on that side quest now. Kit Kat with her super sticker from Canada. Thank you so very much. Bee's mom says, isn't that what your mods are for? I don't know what you mean. My mods do a lot of work, a lot of work. And they can't catch every single thing that goes by in the chat. But when 400 people are in the chat saying, you know, email Baker, email Glare, Glare has the feed, Baker has the feed. It's just not helpful. And because we always pull through in the end. So I don't know. Beth Ellen says, how could any judge in Massachusetts not be aware of what's going on with Turtle Boy? It's a great question. I don't know. And considering this is in Dedham District Court, which is also in Norfolk County, right? And Dedham Superior Court is maybe across the street or something. Thanks, Kit Kat, for becoming a new member, and Paula for thanking me, and thank you for being here for 21 months. And motion for the BS button, please, says Ms. Bouquet. Here you go. Motion granted. Motion granted. And Jade says, thanks, Mel, for all you do. I can barely keep track of chat when court is in session. I can't imagine how hard it is for you, but you do it brilliantly. We love your thank you. And look, there's only 6262. I got to get the angel number book. 6262. I have the book somewhere. 6,262 people in the chat. We're going to look at Kelsey Fitzsimmons' temporary orders on custody and child support right after this, so don't go anywhere. Jade says, thanks, and thank you so very much. Listen, I was watching, I was glued to the hurricane coverage last night in Jamaica, and Ryan Hall, y'all, had like 89,000 people in his chat. 89,000 people in his chat. Hold on. But I mean, he's just talking about weather, so he doesn't have to worry about people coming in and saying hateful things. Quinn says, I'm sorry, Mel, I appreciate you. It must be so stressful. Time to set some new rules. We're all invested 99%. Meanwhile, can we please let the teacher teach now? Oh, I'm happy to teach you. I'm happy to teach you. It's just, it gets frustrating because it's hard for me to like not pay attention to the chat and then also do, you know, I mean, I don't know. Explain it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you too. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling with you. Bridget, thank you. Hello, Cardi B. Hello. Desiderata. Oh, see, I read you guys that poem one day and then you even changed your name. So I guess you guys, your names didn't change. You're still Fairy Raven and Where's Jim? And in some other chats, people's names have reverted back to like their actual names, which is weird. I don't know. Desiderata says at this point, judges will become conflicts. This is crazy. I'm not sure. I think that's a typo, but thank you for tuning in from Canada. Thanks, Lead the Drum at the door for gifting a membership. And Criminally Curious Cupcake gifted 5 memberships. A lot of new members today. Welcome to all of you. I think you're going to like it here. And thank you very much for your generosity. Michelle says your time with us is a gift. Ignore the haters and people trying to tell you how to do your job. We love you, darling. I know. I wish I could. But sometimes you need to, West Virginia says sometimes you need to yell at the kids. No, people that say mean things about me, I don't think they should not be called out about it. I think they should be called out about it. So thank you, Michelle. I know that people say you should, you know, ignore them, but I think that some of them need to get called out. I just do. Thank you for your 10. Lil, the good dog says KP plus DA equals special prosecutors plus rotating judges equals cue the Benny Hill music. I would, except the other day, I got a copyright strike for playing literally 2 seconds of Howie Carr's intro, which has a George Thorogood and the Destroyers song on it for literally 2 seconds. And then I had to cut it out. And then the live chat went away. So I couldn't go back and read the chat. I always like to go back and read the chat. And so that was unfortunate. So I can't play the Benny Hill theme song for you as much as I would like to. Just think about it in your head. Think about it in your head. Right? All right. Do we have any more questions about Kate Peter? Here's the charges for which she is charged in this particular case, in which the victim is Lauren Murray. Let's take a look at the charges, just because I think there's a lot of people who are not up to speed on this case, including me. And so here it is. These are the charges against Catherine Peter for this particular case. She has a lot of cases in a lot of different courts. And it is witness intimidation. It's a felony. And this is against Lauren Murray, who I think she told to kill herself and also flipped her off. And I think maybe the flipping off and driving by the courthouse might have been a violation of the original order where she told her to kill herself, right? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And then the second count is misdemeanor harassment. There's an HPO, which is a harassment prevention order, which is what we call a restraining order in other parts of the country. Good citizen said I was there. Kate Peter driving with her hubcaps off. The troopers did nothing. So those are the charges. I think that Lauren Murray had, and you can correct me again if I'm wrong, a restraining order against Kate Peter, at least for 1 year. And then I think it was renewed for a year. Is that correct? And so there's a violation of the harassment prevention order. That is the second charge, charge number 2 here. And again, thank you, good citizen. For this has been going on since These original charges were in August of 2024. So that would have been after Karen Reed's first trial. But the date of offense was July 11th of 2024 on both of these charges. And so November 25th, they will come back. Maybe by then I'll be able to figure out the real Zoom link, because the clerk in criminal court in Dedham told me there was none, that there was just that party line. But we got through it, as we always do. And at 5 o'clock, we're going to talk about the Maya Kowalski appellate decision, if you're interested in that. So now we turn our attention to Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Oh, Baker, don't worry about it. He did respond to me after the fact. Listen, I can't, you know how hard it is to get interrupted when you're in the middle of a live stream with 20 people trying to tell you what to do and to fix them. And it's just impossible. Kyla, thank you so much for your Venmo. She says, you're the best. And I say, no, you are. Lupus Lady, thank you for buying me a matcha latte. She says, I love you with all my heart. Keep the outstanding work. You're amazing. No, you are. Kathleen, thank you for buying me a matcha latte. Oh, you're so very sweet. She says, thanks for all you do for our community. You're the greatest. Ms. USMC, Semper Fi, if you are a Marine, sends a Venmo and says, watching the glare on my phone and you on my YouTube, you on my TV. You can't make me choose. I love you both. Good. You can, and many of you do. You do watch on several different devices. And I thank you for that. And Anonymous says, interesting. 2020 cold case, unsolved murder, Fanning and Yuri, Boston 25 News, on Massachusetts Marine David Cox and the Code Red in Cuba that the movie A Few Good Men is based on. Does anybody know anything about that? 2020 cold case? I'm going to come back to that later, Derek. I will, Derek Carney, you there? Does anybody know about that? A 2020 cold case? Massachusetts Marine David Cox, COX. I don't know. I don't know if it's related to, you can, I don't know, but all right, I'll take a look. Thank you for your anonymous Venmo. Oh, and Sarah, thank you very much. I will take a look for your email. Thanks for sending me a Venmo to go look for it. And I will. All right, let's move on to Kelsey Fitzsimmons and the stipulated temporary orders. So you may remember that Justin Alayan, the former fiance and father of Kelsey Fitzsimmons' baby, on June 30th of 2025, went into court and filed for a restraining order against Kelsey and to take the baby away from Kelsey, who is still breastfeeding. The very next day after the shooting, he went into court and filed for custody. And then he filed for child support. And he filed for the proceeds from Kelsey's house to go directly to him, because Kelsey owns a home. It's on the market. Apparently it might be in contract. We learned yesterday it's supposed to close in November. And Justin wants whatever the proceeds are, $200,000, I think he wanted to go to him. And he also wanted her to pay a boatload of child support. And let me just see if I can pull up that custody complaint, because what I don't recall is how much child support he was looking for. All right, here's the original complaint for custody, and it was handwritten, and some people have pointed out that it was handwritten in a bunch of different handwritings. Did we ever get a number on how much child support he was looking for? because now they've agreed. And he wanted all the money from the sale of the home to go to him for future child support because he apparently thinks he's going to get custody until this young boy turns 18 years old. All right. So this is the first custody complaint that he filed. I guess we should go back to the beginning because it's very short. But I do think that there's a couple of things that I need to redact on this. So just give me 2 seconds to talk amongst yourselves for a second. And this is where it came up the other day during the hearing that he lives in Stowe, Massachusetts, which is in Middlesex County. But then they agreed yesterday, because we looked at the stipulation, they agreed to keep the venue in Essex County. Okay, so here, my friends, is the original custody complaint that was filled out by Justin Alayan and filed July 1st, the day after the shooting, in the probate and family court in Essex County. And it's Justin, he hand wrote this, but some people pointed out, let's see if we can find out if it looks like it's in a couple of different handwritings. Well, this also may have been filled out by the clerk over here, so that means nothing to me. Justin versus Kelsey Fitzsimmons. And it has his address. The plaintiff, who resides at this address in Stowe, Massachusetts, is the father of a child born out of wedlock. They were engaged. They were to be married on October 4th, but then all of this happened. It says the child who's the subject of this complaint is baby boy Alayan. He was 4 months old when this petition was filed. His date of birth was February 16th, 2025. And, oh, here's a mistake that he made. And so Justin put the child's permanent address in Stowe, Massachusetts also. I can see why the judge was confused. And then it says defendant, meaning Kelsey Fitzsimmons, who resides at Phillips Brook Road in North Andover, is the mother of the above named child who was born out of wedlock. The plaintiff, Justin Alayan, signed a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity. And the plaintiff requests that the court prohibit the defendant from imposing any restraint on the personal liberty of the plaintiff, Justin, and the child, and grant the plaintiff, Justin Alayan, full custody, sole physical in custody of the child. That was filed the day after the shooting, July 1st. Oh, you're a sweetheart, Broken Baker. You're a sweetheart. I told everyone, I said, listen, you want to guys, go watch him live. We'll replay it after. I had the crappy party line call because I called the clerk twice and they told me there was no Zoom because they don't want me streaming it. And I wanted them to go give you the likes and the subs because you're amazing and we love you. And so Justin signed off on this on July 1st of 2025 with his address being in Stowe, Massachusetts, which is a different county, not Essex. And it says here, this was prepared with the assistance of the Lawrence clerk of the court. And I've redacted his phone number because nobody should be harassing Justin. Okay. But this is what he filed on July 1st. Looking for sole custody. And then there was a further petition where he also wanted child support, which I just do not have at my fingers right now. Here it is. One sec. And this was filed on July 17th of 2025, but this was filed by Justin's attorney. And this is an amended complaint because after he got an attorney, it had to be filed again. And it's Justin Elaine versus Kelsey Fitzsimmons. This one was filed on August 8th of 2025. Again, Justin is the plaintiff in these cases, and it's the plaintiff resides in Stowe, Massachusetts. He's the father of a child born out of wedlock. Again, the details about the child, but now the child is 5 months old. Stating that Kelsey lives at the Phillips Brook Road address. And now the plaintiff requests that the court order a suitable amount of support for the child support, even though she's in jail and not working. Order the plaintiff to provide health insurance for the benefit of the child. That the plaintiff is Justin, so he probably gets good health insurance through his job at the fire department. Prohibit the defendant from imposing any restraint on the personal liberty of Justin or the baby. Grant Justin custody of the child and any other relief this court deems meet and just. And that was dated July 17th and filed by Justin's attorneys. But they have come to an agreement on all of this stuff. And like I say to you, every single time we talk about family law cases and divorce cases and custody cases, it is so much better if the parties can agree, because the last thing that you want as a family, even if your family is, breaking up into two separate households, is to let a judge who doesn't know your family make decisions with regard to not only your financial future, but the custody of your children, the visitation time of your children, the distribution of your assets, because it may not work out for you. And that is, we looked at that when we looked at Kevin Costner's divorce, which was the first live streaming that I ever did on the tubes of you. And look at us now. Look at where we are now. And this was filed October 28th, which was just yesterday. Today's the 29th. To make this a little bit bigger for you. And this is the stipulation for temporary orders on the plaintiff's verified motion for temporary orders. So this means a stipulation is an agreement between the parties. So both sides agreed on this. And it says, now come the parties, the plaintiff Justin Elaine, hereinafter father, and the defendant Kelsey Fitzsimmons, hereinafter mother, who hereby stipulate by and through counsel that the following shall be entered as a temporary order of the court on plaintiff's verified motion for temporary orders. Custody and parenting time. Why isn't my highlighter working? Oh, please. I don't know. Well, I didn't mean to do that. The father shall have legal and physical custody of the party's minor child, Canton, who's now 8 months old. The parties acknowledge that on or about June 30th of 2025, father sought and obtained a 209A abuse prevention order against the mother in Essex Probate and Family Court. That was Judge Ulwick. Judge Ulwick is the judge who granted that restraining order. And here's the docket number. That's the 209A order. A 209A order in Massachusetts is a DV restraining order, domestic restraining order. Pursuant to the active 209A order, the father was granted custody of the minor child and the mother was ordered not to contact the father or the minor child. The matter is scheduled for a two-party evidentiary hearing on December 2nd of 2025. So that's going to be the next appearance on this. The parties further acknowledge that the mother is currently being held without bail in the Western Massachusetts Regional Women's Correctional Center, pending a criminal trial on a charge for assault with a dangerous weapon in the Essex Superior Court, Commonwealth v. Fitzsimmons. In that matter, the mother was ordered to remain away from the minor child. Oh, Boston Brandy is here. Boston Brandy, thanks for that TikTok you clipped yesterday. I reposted it on my Instagram. She says, I had Judge Ulwick when she was at Canton Probate. I do not have anything good to say about her. As such, mother shall have no parenting time. She's not getting any parenting time. And they agreed to this. And I'll tell you why at the end, why I think they agreed to this. So they are agreeing, both sides are agreeing that the mother shall have no parenting time right now. And here's the child support. Commencing on October 23rd of 2025, mother shall pay child support to the father in the amount of $12 per week. $12 per week, pursuant to the payment method described in paragraph 3 below. The parties acknowledge that the child support payment of $12 per week is the minimum child support order pursuant to the Massachusetts Child Support Guidelines. There it is. He's getting a whopping $48 a month. Well, no, it's not really any parenting. It's not real. Terry says she's in jail. How does she get any parenting time? That's obvious. Well, no, because there are prisoners who are allowed to see their babies, in jail. So that is not necessarily the case. Mastad thinks that Jen Ulwick is a great judge. So I guess maybe Boston Brandy had a bad experience with that judge. And so everyone's opinions are going to be different depending on how your case worked out in front of said judge. Child support payment method. The parties agree and acknowledge that the mother holds title to the Phillipsbrook Road, North Andover, Essex County home. Here and after the North Andover property. The parties also agree and acknowledge that on August 22nd, 2025, the mother listed the North Andover property for sale and that the mother has accepted a contingent offer to purchase the North Andover property. From the mother's net proceeds from the sale of the North Andover property, $50,000 shall be held by the father's counsel in the father's counsel escrow account to secure mother's financial obligation as set forth above in this stipulation. I'm going to explain that further in a moment. Following the closing on the North Andover property and the father's counsel's receipt of the $50,000 from mother's net proceeds from the sale of the North Andover property, father's counsel shall disperse $12 per week to the father from the escrow account on a monthly basis to satisfy mother's weekly child support obligation to the father. Father's counsel shall provide an accounting of the escrowed funds to mother's counsel upon request. And I've been saying this from the beginning. I've been shouting into the ether that he should have asked for it to be put in escrow, but at least it's not the 200,000 plus that he asked for. It's 50,000. It's going to go into an escrow account that Justin's lawyer is going to maintain, and he is going to pay Justin from that account $12 a week in child support temporarily. This is a temporary order. It's not even an order. It's a stipulation that the judge is going to so order. Health insurance for the minor child. The father shall maintain his employer-sponsored medical insurance for the minor child if and when a minor child ceases to be covered under the mother's health insurance. So Justin's going to provide the insurance. And then with regard to uninsured medical, dental, and vision expenses for the minor child, parties shall share equally 50-50 in any and all uninsured medical, dental, therapeutic, and or orthodontic expenses for the minor child, with the father covering the first $250 per year in uninsured expenses. On a monthly basis, the father shall submit to father's counsel in writing proof of payment of any and all uninsured expenses, including but not limited to receipts, invoices, and or bank or credit card statements. Father's counsel shall then submit the same to mother's counsel, who shall confirm the receipt of same in writing. Upon mother's counsel's written confirmation of receipt, the father's counsel shall withdraw an amount equal to 50% of the total uninsured expenses paid by the father from the escrowed funds and pay such amount to the father on the same day that the father receives his monthly child support payment. I thought they said they were going to pay him weekly. Hold on a monthly basis. Okay. So he's going to get $48 a month in addition to 50% of anything over $250 of uninsured medical. Childcare and daycare costs. The parties shall equally 50-50 in any and all, shall share equally 50-50 in any and all childcare costs or daycare expenses for the minor child. On a monthly basis, the father shall submit to father's counsel in writing proof of payment of any such expenses, including receipts, invoices, and or bank or credit card statements. Father's counsel shall then submit the same to mother's counsel, who shall confirm the receipt of same in writing. Upon mother's counsel's written confirmation of receipt, the father's counsel shall withdraw an amount equal to 50% of the total childcare and or daycare costs paid by father from the escrowed funds and pays such amount to the father on the same day that the father receives his monthly child support payment. The parties acknowledge that the father's parents are currently providing child care for the minor child, and as such, there are no child care costs this time. It's a good time to point out Kelsey's mother and stepfather have filed their own petition for grandparents visiting time. That has not been ruled on yet, but it was brought out in that petition that we did read together that Kelsey's mom and stepfather have not been allowed to see the child since June 30th. Communication between the parties. As noted above, pursuant to the 2098 order, the mother is prohibited from contacting the father and the minor child. That said, the parties agree that father will share updates about the minor child, such as his diet, general well-being, development, medical and dental appointments, new activities, discoveries, evolving likes and dislikes, milestones, for example, first steps and first words, as well as photographs and or videos of the minor child to the father's counsel on the 15th and 30th of every month. Father's counsel shall share the same with mother's counsel within 24 hours of receipt of same. Minor child's baptism. We talked about this yesterday because Mike over on Young Jerks interviewed one of Kelsey's friends who said that even though Kelsey and Justin had agreed that Kelsey's sister, I think it's her sister, right? Madison, was going to be the godmother, that he said he reneged on that. And also that they were not going to wait for Kelsey to do the baptism, that they were going to do the baptism while she's in jail. And here's the agreement on that. If and or when the minor child is baptized, the father shall ensure that the ceremony is video recorded. The father shall send father's counsel the video of the baptism that same day, and the father's counsel shall forward the same to mother's counsel. The parties agree that the mother's sister, Madison, may attend the baptism. So she can attend, but there's no agreement that she will still be the godmother. And he has to videotape the baptism. So, at least she'll get to watch her baby's baptism on video. Child's likes and dislikes, Mitchell? Yeah, the baby likes this kind of baby food. The baby doesn't like this kind of baby food. The older the child gets, obviously, the more likes and dislikes they have. But the hope is this is just going to be very temporary until Kelsey is out of jail, has her charges dismissed, and these can be amended at that time. The parties shall submit this stipulation to the court for approval and adoption into a temporary order of the court on the plaintiff's verified motion for temporary orders and plaintiff's motion to attach real estate for the payment of child support. Both parties reserve their respective rights, interests, claims, and defenses in this matter. All provisions of this stipulation are entered into by the parties without prejudice and may be reviewed by the court upon appropriate motion by either party. So Justin signed off on it. His lawyer signed off on it. Julie Hess signed off on it. That's Kelsey's attorney. And then I think there's There's just another copy that was filed with all the signatures. I'm guessing the 3 copies have to be filed with the court with all the signatures because they all look to me to be the same documents. And so far better to agree to all of this than to have to do an evidentiary hearing and let the judge decide. It is important to understand this is only temporary. The judge will sign off on this. They've agreed to it. It said she put the sale up of her house in August of 2020. Of course it's wrong. Yeah, it was 2025. I didn't pick up on that typo. Usually I'm so good at picking up on the typos. Thanks. Thanks, Marie. No, she put her house up just in August of 2025. And my guess is because she has to pay for her attorneys. So only $50,000 will be held in escrow from the sale of the house. From that, the attorney will hold it in his escrow account and pay Justin $48 a month in child support, plus if there's any incidentals that need to be paid. But right now, there's no child care expenses because his parents are taking care of the baby. And then after the orders are amended, any money remaining in that account would be returned back to Kelsey. And so any amount of money over the $50,000 that she nets from the sale will go directly to her. Yeah, remind yourself, it's only temporary. It's only temporary, and it's $48 a month in child support, okay? And so it is so much better to agree. Where is the police union, Megan? Where is the police union? I want to know that too. The police union stood right behind Proctor the whole entire time. Haven't heard anything from the police union on behalf of Kelsey. And so this is a very, very, very smart, in my opinion, stipulation to enter into. Despite the fact that she's not allowed to see her baby right now, she has things to focus on, like this appeal to the full panel of the appellate court to try and get her bail conditions overturned, try and get her out of jail. $12 a week is the minimum support under the guidelines of Massachusetts. That is right. So that is a good thing. And it's just like any negotiation. You got to give on something to get something else. And so, listen, Justin could have been a real dick and tried to get more than $12 a week, which is really nothing. It's $48 a month, okay? It's $48 a month. And really, as much as we want Kelsey to be able to see her baby right now while she's in Chicopee, is it good for the baby to have to travel more than 2 hours each way in a car to see his mom in those conditions in a place that would be supervised? I would submit to you it's not a great thing for the baby to have to travel in some sort of, weird van or something 4 hours to go see Kelsey right now. Bradl said the police union is coming. Yeah, it feels just so low to even take a dime, but that's the minimum. That's the minimum. And they're going to enforce the law. I disagree. No way in hell would he get money from my home. Well, here's the thing. She's not working right now, Gator Girl, and she's got no other way to pay this $48 a month in child support. And so all that is that it goes into an escrow account. The attorney is the one guarding it. Justin's not getting it. And until these orders are changed and amended, he's getting $48 a month out of it. And then the balance is going to go back to her. So it's not really like he's getting the money from her home. It's like he's getting the $48 a month in child support. And those proceeds are just being held until there are future orders. So I know you don't like the way that it looks, but really it's just a guarantee of payment right now. And that's all it is. He's really not getting the proceeds from her house. Thank you, Kit Kat, for your Canadian super sticker. I think I went through all of these. Hang on. Thank you, Brigitte. Thank you, Kel, for becoming a member. Joanna says, do people not listen to your opening song? Be kind, be cool, be classy. Love you, Melanie. Thank you, Joanna, for your very generous 20. I appreciate you. Melissa says, off topic, but a YouTube viewer's code of conduct is a great idea, Mel. You want to get working on it, Melissa? Thanks. Patricia became a new member. Welcome. Melanie's bleep says, hi, just trying to see if I'm out of jail. I guess you are. YouTube's putting people in jail. I don't know why. No, she's not selling her house over $48 a month. She's not selling her house over $48. She's selling her house because she needs to pay her attorney's fees, not to pay the child support. So let's not spread misinfo. Let's not get confused. Her house was up for sale before there was any order on child support. That is not why she's selling her house. I don't exactly know why, but my guess is that she needs to pay her attorneys. Karen Reed had to do the same thing, remember? And Karen Reed had to liquidate all of her 401ks and all of her retirement accounts. And she's still something like $5 million in debt for her attorneys. I'm glad you got out of jail, Melanie's bleep. And thank you, Kit Kat, for gifting a membership, and Beth for becoming a member. And Leave the Drama at the Door gifted another membership. Thank you so much. Ashton Sugar, thanks for your 5, says, how do the bail conditions for not seeing her child apply if her bail was revoked? That bail condition no longer has standing, right? No, well, there was an order, a stay away order from Justin and the baby that was issued by this judge on June 30th. That's why they took the baby away. And so there has been no change in any of those circumstances. Now she's in jail. And so until these orders are amended, this is what they're agreeing on. She will have no contact with the baby until either they agree on something else or the court orders something else. This is just temporary. And so that was with respect to the restraining order. If I'm mistaken about that, Mass Dad or someone, you can tell me. Thank you. Okay. Lo the good dog. Do we know how old his parents are? I wish it stipulated that Justin had to take parenting classes in case his parents can't be there for the baby. Look, people, you don't need a license to have a baby, you know? It's unfortunate. There are people who have children who never should have children. And people, you don't need a license to have a baby. And there's no requirement that you do take parenting classes to become a baby. And there are people every day who have babies who don't know how to take care of them. And so I don't know that the court has the authority to force him to take parenting classes. I don't know how old his parents are. I forget how old Justin is. I think Kelsey's something like 27. And I think maybe he's around the same age. But listen, there are people every day who become parents who are teenagers. And so, I mean, it's a nice thought, but I don't know. Justin should take fiance classes, is what someone else in the chat said. That's funny. Rebecca, thank you for your Venmo. She says, I love you so much. People who are rude, mean, and disrespectful should be forced to pay a fine and no access to YouTube until the fine has been completed. Well, that's a nice idea, but never going to happen. And also says, she also says, I live in Scituate. Did I mention that somebody's building a pizza shop? No. Also, what about the pain Kelsey felt when she abruptly stopped breastfeeding? Let's buy her a house for her. Oh, that's a nice idea. And you can actually contribute to her Give, Send, Go. I'm not sure what the money is going to be used for. All of her unpaid medical expenses and living expenses and other things and bills and stuff while she's still currently incarcerated. And I will put the Give, Send, Go in the show notes below. I don't know about any pizza shop in Scituate. I mean, the Alberts and McCabe's own a piece. They're putting a D&E in Scituate, says Good Citizen. I didn't know. Mastad says parenting classes will likely be mandatory for both Justin and Kelsey, but not right now. They didn't stipulate to any of that right now. Thank you, Mama She, for your super sticker. Thank you so much. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. Everyone should donate. Everyone should donate $48, says Tell the Truth. I'll pin it in the chat if you guys want access to it. And hang on. There you go. I don't know if I can pin it because when I try and click on it, it just goes straight to the link and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But it's in the chat. I'm the one who posted it. Wait, there we go. There we go. In Canada, it's mandatory for both sides to attend parenting courses, even if you're not in any sort of like familial dispute. Like anytime you have a baby, you have to have parenting classes. David Reese says, I can't donate now because of the government shutdown. Yes, I pinned it. Yes, thank you. Good Citizen says, I have so many thoughts and concerns. Thank you, Sherilyn, for your cash app. So many thoughts and comments and concerns. Where to start? We need a donate $48 button, says Lovely Flight. Dave Matthews' neighbor says, D&E is racking up for a bigger distribution. They're opening another pizza shop. I didn't know that. And Desiderata said they're in Canada, it's mandatory for both sides to attend parenting classes. Is that only when there's some sort of family dispute? Or is that like anytime somebody gives birth? Right. Okay. Carolyn says no, absolutely not. No disputes, no parenting classes. Thank you, little cupcake. Everyone, please remember to like and share the video. Like and share the video. It helps the algorithm and all that stuff. Miss Holmes 66 says, Melanie, I do not know Kelsey, nor do I live in Massachusetts, but I'm so damn angry for her and the baby. Baby needs his mom right now, the more than ever in his life. I know. And that's the thing also is Kelsey has not seen her baby, her breastfeeding infant, since June 30th. It's going on 120 days. And you know how much your baby changes between the ages of 5 months and 9 months. But at least, according to this agreement, Justin's going to have to take videos and pictures and forward them to his attorney, who will then forward them to her attorney, who will show Kelsey all of the pictures and videos of the baby. So she can at least keep up that way, which I would submit to you is better than nothing, but it's not the greatest. Lofty's Most Hated Mob says, to my Bruin fans, well done last night. Hopefully the Islanders GM steals one of your heavyweights. Kevin from South Boston is here, and he has volunteered to buy everyone in the chat a mediocre chicken parm. Yeah, Susan says it's a whole clothing size, at least. Oh, Sweetie No says, nobody goes to the first D&E. Why open another? Oh, speaking of which, where's the Canton Community Select Board meeting? Where can I find that on the Tubes of You so that we can watch it together? Because I got to see what Brenda said at the meeting last night. Mastad coming in. I did, John Baggs, I just went over the temporary orders. It's a stipulation. We went over it. You just rewind. John Baggs, Melly, someone said 30 minutes ago, Kelsey, Facebook group, you have the temporary orders on your show. What does that mean? It means that, well, both sides agreed to these temporary orders. And so they reached a stipulation. Kelsey's attorney signed off on it. Justin's attorney signed off on it. They've agreed on $48 a month in child support and some other things. If you rewind, you'll see the papers on the screen and you'll see exactly what it is that we went over. Canton Chronicle. MassDOT says parenting course is required for both sides of a divorce in Massachusetts, as well as both sides of a child custody and support dispute when the parties aren't married. Good to know. And so there you go. I looked at Young Jerks and I didn't see that they streamed it yesterday. So let me take a look. Brenda had a protester at the meeting last night. I saw that too. Who is that person? Who is that Ashley Bell person? If you're curious about the cold case that I mentioned earlier, go look it up for me. Do the research. Do the work for me. That'd be great. I would love that. I would absolutely love that for you. You know where it is? I know where it is. Canton Community TV. Hang on. Well, if they're not married, they won't get a divorce, Michael. It's because the child is born out of wedlock. They have to do it that way. Because there's a custody dispute and the child was born out of wedlock. All right, I've got it here. Who wants to watch it? Who wants to watch the Canton Select Board meeting from last night? Yes, they do have one every Tuesday. Every Tuesday night there's one. Shout out to Canton Community TV. I have met Tim before. He's awesome. He's always there doing the Lord's work. Look at Bridget. Bridget sending 5 memberships. Thank you. Thank you, Bridget. And to the 5 we're so randomly gifted. Leah, Mips617, Darlene Baswell. John Baggs got a gifted membership. Johnny, you're in, Johnny. And just me, Dawn T, all of you. Thank Brigitte for your memberships. You're in, Johnny. You're in like Flynn. Thank you, Brigitte. You're awesome. All right, let's take a look at the Canton Community Select Board meeting and see what Brenda had to say. Somebody also sent me the link on the Brenda shirts, which I will put up for you. Somebody said the person with the sign was trolling the board, not Brenda. Someone on the board had said what the sign said, I believe. Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. I don't know. That's why I don't like to spread misinformation. And so I don't know. Somebody posted a picture that somebody said to me, and the woman had a sign like, Brenda, get to bed or something. Let's put Brenda to bed. Desiree says, why is she agreeing to not have contact with the baby? Did I miss the explanation? Well, I can't speak for why she's doing it, but my explanation is that having the baby travel 4 hours round trip to see her mother in jail might not be the best environment for the baby right now. And this is only, and I don't think the judge would allow it anyway. And so why not just agree on it now until the orders can be modified and changed, and hopefully Kelsey's out of jail and can have some sort of supervised visitation when she gets out of jail, instead of having the baby do a 4-hour round trip in some dirty van or something with some supervisor. Like, I think it's better for them to agree to this now than to let the judge. And the no contact order is still in place. Right. So she had no choice but to agree. Right. The baby would suffer so much. Oh, she's always against. Oh, so Boston Brandy says that woman's always against Brenda. She was trolling her. Oh, we got to get to this. This is going to be a cold watch for me. So if you guys did watch this, you can tell me. But I think the community, I think that the community comments are first usually, right? And I think that also Peter Murphy was there and he had some things to say. And we love Peter Murphy. Peter Murphy retired from Canton PD, 30 years with Canton PD. He was a sergeant when he retired, and he's outraged by what's going on in Canton. Okay, topic change. This is last night's Canton Select Board meeting, courtesy of CantonCommunityTV.org. And shout out to Tim. Here we go.
I just had 2 quick questions myself. One on the grant for the HVAC for the.
I'm going to fast forward to the community.
Communities contract.
So let me just see what it says in the video.
System as well. Contracts under $300,000 do not require you to go up.
Wait, why is this? Oh, this is last week's though. Wait, hold on. Yesterday would have been the 29th. Hold, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, live events. Let's see. That'd be great if somebody could just email me the link to this, just so I could find it easier. Hold on. Make sure to wait for Chris Albert's response to the comments. Oh yeah, public comments are always first. Yeah, I was just on the wrong video. Is all. Oh please. Norfolk's courthouse is shame. It wasn't Chris that responded. It was the head of the board. Huh. No, Maya, the show on Maya is going to be at 5 o'clock. That requires a whole show. It's a very long appellate decision. And so I have that scheduled for 5 o'clock. So we're not going to do this on this stream. Linda Lane couldn't find the Canton Select Board meeting either. Hang on. Yeah, I thought they weren't supposed to respond too. Wait, can I find the video? Boozy Beauty was the host on Canton Chronicles. Yeah, but are they going to let me, would they let me restream it? I think they'd be cool with it, right? We love Boozy Beauty. And we love John Comeau too. So as long as they're all cool with it, I could only find it on Canton Chronicles. All right, let's see. But is there commentary or do they just play the hearing? Hang on. Well, I'm fast forwarding it, but I don't see the hearing. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Thank you. All right, everyone give Canton Chronicle a sub and a like, and Boozy Beauty a follow on all of the socials. Okay. They played 5 minutes of the hearing. Perfect. Perfect. I got it. I don't know. Hopefully they'll be cool with that. I think they will. They won't copyright strike me, right? Oh, she also played last week's by mistake. Oh no, this is 10/28/25. Hold on. Got it. Got it. All right. And there's Peter Murphy. Here we go. Let me know if you can hear it or if I need to boost it. That's Peter Murphy. Okay, so there's this woman standing in the back and she's holding a sign. I don't know if you can hear this or see it. And the sign says, "Sure, Brenda, now let's get you to bed." And it's got a picture of Brenda Sweeney with a walker and like a nurse like walking her to bed. This woman's name, I learned, somebody told me, was Ashley Bell. I'm not sure who she is. But I'm sure you guys know a lot more than I do.
There's nothing harder than to.
Oh my God. Are you forking back? I told him.
Boozy Beauty, isn't she cute?
Is it?
She's so cute.
To remind us how important it is to pay attention to local government. Because psychopaths are manipulative, sneaky SOBs with no moral compass.
That's Brenda, but it kind of comes in right at the beginning of Brenda's talking. So do we have a whole clip of her speech? Ashley Bell is Bella's mom. That's Bella's mom, Calla Lily. We've been talking. That's Bella's mom. Brenda spoke before Peter. That's where it started. Okay, cool. Here we go. It's Brenda. Brenda's up first. Here we go.
Psychopaths are manipulative, sneaky SOBs with no moral compass. If they get any access at all to power, they'll blindside you in a heartbeat. I tell you to ask John, but it's too late to do that, isn't it? And he paid the ultimate price because of it. We'll be back because we can't ever forget that. 58 days till Christmas. Thank you.
Okay, it's not Bella's mom. It's not Bella's mom. See, this is why we don't put misinformation in the chat. There was an Ashley. Bella's mom's name is Ashley, but it's not Bella's mom. All right. Right. That would mean if Ashley Bell was Bella's mom, that means that Bella's name would be Bella Bell. Right? So I don't think it's not Bella's mom. Everyone, delete all your misinformation that you put in the chat yourself. Now I'm going to give you a job. All right, here comes Peter Murphy.
Peter Murphy, Marshfield. Good evening, Mr. Duty, Chairman McCourt, and honorable board members of the Select Board. I would like to speak and say, first off the bat, there's nothing harder than to follow Brenda Sweeney to the microphone anywhere in the world. But I guess I'm the only one doing it right now, so I'm going to see what I can come up with. I want to say, well, let me read from this first. In my humble 30-year career in training and experience, I offer my following opinion. Suffice to say, my use of the term honorable board will be scrutinized for decades to come. However, on a positive note, I want to commend the board for finally kicking the ball through the uprights with your selection of interim Chief Perkins instead of kicking the can down the road as per usual. I worked under the command of 5 chiefs in my career over the 30 years, and with that training and experience, I submit he is doing one fantastic job. Let me point out, the first day on his job, he removed the one-way mirror glass, you know, the stuff that prevents transparency in a police station put up by Rafferty. I also will tell you that he got rid of Higgins, I believe, on his second day, gave him the exit interview. Select Board Harrington, Susan Harrington, ride along on a Friday night, I believe, with the chief to go on calls. Guess what? This is what police work's all about for the Select Board. How many Select Board members over the years ever took a ride in a police cruiser? I'll leave that question open. We also can look at what Chief Perkins has done as far as the de-weaponization of the Canton Police Department, putting an end to the lawfare by power brokers in town, and bringing in a mental health crisis team. And yes, at long last, assuring liberty and justice equally for all. I've seen a healing within the police department already, as us on the standouts, 10, 15 on a Friday, can attest to. The cruisers are going by, beeping the horn and giving us a thumbs up gesture. In the past, they frowned and scowled at the very least. I believe this healing is going to permeate throughout the community, but it will take a lot of time. What has to happen between now and the healing of this community, justice for John O'Keefe. There's a dead man laying in a grave, a police officer that ended up on the lawn of 34 Fairview, and somebody's got to be held accountable. And if it's the last thing I do walking this planet, I'm going to make sure somebody's accountable.
Preach.
Oh, and before I forget, the criminal charges lodged against me by Canton Police on the 27th of December will be revisited again on a much larger forum, I assure you, rather than here tonight. What doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse, and a fish rots from the head down. Had CPD, Deputy Kelleher, Chief Rafferty, done their job at 6 a.m. on the 29th, I submit that search warrants would have closed that case within hours, and an innocent woman and her family would never, ever have had to suffer the nightmare that they have gone through.
Name them. Name them. What did he say? Chief Kelleher and who? Helena Rafferty. If they had done their jobs, this could have been handled right. He's naming them. He's naming them all. I want to hear it again.
CPD out in the rinse, and a fish rots from the head down. Had CPD, Deputy Kelleher, Chief Rafferty, done their job at 6 a.m. on the 29th.
That's right. CPD. Deputy Chief Tom Kelleher, who lives right across the street, coincidentally, from 34 Fairview Road, who checked his own ring cameras and just said, yeah, nothing to see here. No big whoop. I got nothing on my ring cameras. His ring cameras were pointed directly at the place where John O'Keefe's body was found. Imagine. Nobody ever looked. Nobody ever wanted receipts on that. No, they didn't care. They had no curiosity about who murdered John O'Keefe because they wanted to pin it on the girl. And he said their names: Rafferty, Kelleher, Canton PD.
I submit that search warrants would have closed that case within hours, and an innocent woman and her family would never, ever have had to suffer the nightmare that they have gone through.
That's right.
So let me say this.
Yes. Kelleher gave them the solo cups. That is right. Tom Kelleher gave them the solo cups. He sure did. Even though it was his own police department that was out there responding to the scene of a dead brother in blue, Kelleher didn't come out of his bathrobe and go out and see what they were doing, but he gave them the solo cups to collect the blood. Maybe he knew he had a conflict or something else.
Serious allegations brought to me during my career as a sergeant, and I brought those allegations to Deputy Chief Kelleher, and he whined and said, not on my watch, it happened on hers.
Wow. Peter Murphy is telling us that he went to Kelleher, hang on, and shared his concerns with Kelleher. Wow.
During my career as a sergeant. Say this, I've had serious allegations brought to me during my career as a sergeant, and I brought those allegations to Deputy Chief Kelleher, and he whined and said, not on my watch, it happened on hers.
He whined.
You can do the math on who I'm talking about and who he was talking about. So I submitted a written letter to from.
Mr. Murphy, your time's up, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And other speakers. So
Oh, okay.
just wrap it up.
Justice for John O'Keefe.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Peter knows the truth.
John Comeau, Attleboro, Mass. Good evening, everybody. Just a quick trip down memory lane. Remember when the town went after Jeff Kaler and Tony Bracconi for alleged mis-
Wow. All right. So John Comeau has lived, I think, for over 20 years in Canton. We watched another select board hearing, I think the week before this one. Or I don't remember when it must have been a different week. It was the week that he got up and told the board that Chris Albert called him a few days before from an unknown number or a blocked number and had some really nasty things to say to him and said, why don't you go send some more D-pics to your stepdaughter? And then, and Chris Albert said to him, I talked to your ex-wife about it. After John Comeau sat down, his ex-wife got up and she said, I've never spoken to Chris Albert about any of this. He's a liar. And then the stepdaughter got up and she said, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, that I can't believe that this man is spreading these rumors around. It is not true. It was 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks ago. She said, John Comeau raised me like his own daughter. He was my stepfather. He walked me down the aisle at my wedding. And we watched Chris Albert's reaction to that. I put an Instagram reel up on my Instagram. It's got over 225,000 views. It is the most watched reel I've ever put up on Instagram. And it's wild what happened. Let's listen to what John Comeau has to say this week, because he's not letting it go either.
down memory lane, Comeau, Attleboro, Mass.
Thank you, sir.
Also important to point out that this is his YouTube channel that we are restreaming, which is called the Canton Chronicle. And while he was at the town board meeting, Boozy Beauty was hosting the stream. So shout out to them. Thanks to them. And go give them a sub and a likey.
John Comeau, Attleboro, Mass. Good evening, everybody. Just a quick trip down memory lane. Remember when the town went after Jeff Kaler and Tony Bracconi for alleged misuse of funds? But let's be crystal clear. There's no alleged about Sergeant Paul, DG, and Petro. We had proof. The audit committee found it. They covered it up when they told everybody that they don't know when the funds were paid back, when they were only paid back a couple weeks before that meeting. All right. They covered it up and you guys looked the other way. All right. Just wanted to say that. And Chris, while we're clearing things up, Colin was in the house. We just don't know when he left. The only evidence is a convenient little screenshot of a text. Thanks.
Okay. Put a pin in this. DG Pietro. Okay. DG Pietro is the retired detective on whose hard drive all of that alleged magical mystery Sally Port video was kept. And nobody heard about this guy, DG Pietro, until after Karen Reed's first trial, remember? Hang on, because I want to hear what he says about DG Pietro, because remember, nobody knew who this guy was.
Don't know when the funds were paid. All DG and Pietro, crystal clear. Coney for alleged misuse of funds. Remember when the town went after Jeff Kaler and Tony Bricconi for alleged misuse of funds? But let's be crystal clear. There's no alleged about Sergeant Paul, DG, and Pietro. We had proof. The audit committee found it. They covered.
Proof of what? Proof of misuse of funds? Paul DG Pietro? Is it the same DG Pietro that was the retired detective who had all this stuff on his hard drive?
It up when they told everybody that they don't know when the funds were paid back, when they were only paid back a couple weeks before that meeting. All right. They covered it up and you guys looked the other way. All right. Just wanted to say that. And Chris, while we're clearing things up, Colin was in the house. We just don't know when he left. The only evidence is a convenient little screenshot of a text. Thanks.
Is there anybody else willing to speak or wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Mr. Albert.
All right, first up on the agenda tonight, let's get some real work done here.
Let's get some real work done here. Oh, look at Boosie's face. Here's Chris Albert, all the way. That's him right on the left with the tie. I mean, that's where he usually sits, unless if they have assigned seats, unless he's switched around to a different seat. Let's get some real work done here.
I move that up on the.
Mr. Albert.
All right, first up on the agenda tonight, let's get some real work done here. I move that the board approve the application for the change of manager for the Ponkapoag Civic. The Town of Canton legal notice public hearing. Notice is hereby given under Chapter 138 of Mass General Laws as amended, that the Canton Select Board, acting as the licensing board for the Town of Canton, will hold a public hearing.
Boosie's face is all of us right now. Let's get some real work done. Somebody said that he makes comments after this, so I'm going to keep listening.
Regarding the application to amend a Section 12 all alcohol liquor license. The application is for the change of officers, directors, LLC managers, and management operating agreement.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Of Canton.
Huh? I don't know what's up with that.
Oh,
Sorry.
did you hear his response?
Yeah.
Oh, so it
Let's
looks
get
like
some real business.
looks like John went out in the hall and now he's talking to Boosie. Well, let's hear.
Some real work done.
He wants some real business.
I mean, who paid his taxes?
Let's get some real business. You know what? I'm taking a lollipop. I don't care what they say. I'm taking a lollipop. I'm taking two.
So,
Hi. Goodbye. Good night.
So for those, John,
I'll be right back because I have the phone. Oh, wait, maybe.
Oh, that was the comment? Oh, okay. So that was the comment. Okay.
Maybe I can hear you this way. Say something.
Something.
Nope.
Okay. So that was the comment. Yeah, let's get some real work done. People are saying he has no shame. He should resign. Wow. Just wow. Just when you think you can't make it any up. People are saying that DG Pietro had a dog die in his car. He left his dog to die in his car and then they cleaned it up and then he was supposed to pay them back. I don't know. I thought that was Tim the Toolman Taylor. So I don't know. I'm going to have to dig into that a little bit more. Or someone's going to have to send me some receipts on that. Yeah, that was not DG Pietro. I thought that was Tim the Toolman Taylor. who was involved in the rubber duck investigation. That's what I thought. But I could be conflating everything in my head, and that is quite very possible. So unless somebody sends me receipts, I hesitate now to say anything that I see in chat. Helena says the baby needs his mama, her embrace and love. I agree. Thank you, Kel, for gifting a membership, and to whoever was gifted, welcome. Blessed Mom from Texas says, you're the best. Cupcakes for all the birthdays. Birthday wishes. October 27th, 45 years young. Love to you. Love to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. If your birthday was on October 27th, happy belated birthday. 45 is young also. And it's just a number. And so happy birthday to you. And thank you so much for your super chat. Blessed Mom from Texas. Kim became a member. Welcome. Life of Deshai says Belle should focus on a stylist rather than a Stein. Hey, Mel. Hey Deshai. Somebody says Ashley Bell is a witness in both of the Karen Reed and the Sandra Birchmore cases. Young Jerks has her comments at the Canton Select Board on 6/24/25. All right. Well, that's another rabbit hole that I can't fall into right now, Paulie, but maybe we will. Why was she? It says Ashley's husband used to work for Chris Albert, says Ann Matthews. Nancy says Ashley was on the state's witness list for the first trial. She's nobody. She's definitely not Bella's mom, because that would make Bella's name Bella Bell. And that would just be mean to do to a child, right? And thank you, Mads Tea Party, for your comment and for being with us for a very long time. And about the dog in the car, that is not DGM Pietro. We have figured that out. Thank you, Danielle, for sending me that link, but that link takes me to the October 21st of 2025 Canton Community Board stream, and that's not the one. We're looking for the one from the 8th. And so the thing that we did was we restreamed the Canton Chronicle. So thank you in advance to them, even though I usually don't like to play things unless I get permission. I think they'll be cool with it. Okay, a couple more things to talk about before we push on over to the 5 p.m. stream on the Maya Kowalski case. And this was a question that Kim McMillan sent me earlier in the stream. Can you explain the implication of what Lawferio sharing the voicemail means? Well, I can't explain to you the implications of it because I don't know what the implications are going to be, but I can explain to you what I think are the ethical obligations of an attorney who receives a voicemail like that. Hold on. So in case you don't know, Nan Gallagher received a phone call. Nan Gallagher is an attorney in New Jersey. She received a phone call from a woman who lives in New Jersey who has some charges that she tried to file against Aiden Carney, aka Turtle Boy, in New Jersey. There was some dispute about Aiden Carney about this woman, I think her name is Donna, selling Turtle Boy merch, and Turtle Boy had a conversation with her, and Turtle Boy, whatever he did, this woman went and filed charges in New Jersey against him for harassment. They were felony charges. And so this woman, her name is, what did I say her name was? Donna? Called Nan Gallagher's office and left a voicemail saying, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm having some issues with Aiden Carney, and I need a lawyer. And I don't really know what kind of lawyer you are, what kind of law that you practice, but I'm calling to see if you would represent me. Here's my phone number. And then the woman says her phone number twice in the voicemail. Thank you. Please give me a call. Nan Gallagher takes the voicemail and she sends it to Aiden Carney and gives him permission to publish it on Twitter. And as you know, Aiden, and I know Aiden, that's what he does. And he did. And so the question is, should an attorney under the rules of ethics and the code of professional responsibility, send a voicemail from a potential client to anyone? Or are they bound by some sort of rule of confidentiality with regard to potential or prospective clients? It is my very strong opinion, I don't think I can emphasize this enough, very strong opinion, that a voicemail such as that should not be shared with anyone. And at the very least, at the very worst, should not be shared with the exact person who is accused of harassing that prospective client. I have very strong feelings about that. It is something that I would never, ever, ever do. If I did not want to represent this person, I would simply delete the voicemail and not call them back. But I certainly would not tell anyone about it. Anyone. And so it is out there on the cesspool with Twitter. You guys have sent it to me many, many times. You've asked me about it many times. And I am of the very, very strong opinion that that is a violation of the code of professional responsibility, whether or not you choose to represent that person, whether or not you personally speak to that person, whether or not that person willingly left you a voicemail. I am of the very strong opinion that regardless of who you are as an attorney, you are bound, duty bound by a code of ethics not to share that. That is my opinion. There are many other people with very different opinions with regard to the sharing of that voicemail, including Nan Gallagher, who publicly said she didn't do anything wrong. And in saying that, she also said to, I guess it was Twisted Tragedies, who commented something like, why don't you dust off your law books and your food stamps and something else that maybe to have to do with poverty shaming or something like that. And so Aiden shared it. He had her permission to share it. Whether that catches him any other harassment charges or makes her case a little bit stronger against him, this woman, Donna, remains to be seen. I don't think that Turtle Boy did anything potentially illegal. But what I do think that the attorney sharing that that voicemail is something that is improper. That is my opinion. That is my very, very strong opinion. There are many people who may disagree with me. There are many people who I thought in my life I would never, ever, ever, ever agree with, that we seem to be on the same page about this. As Emily C. pointed out, the first time ever I'm on the same page with some person who has relentlessly harassed me. And so there's that. And so the question, the very narrow question here, is whether I think it was ethical. I'm not saying it was illegal to share that voicemail. Why would you do that? Why would you I would not risk my license just to give that to Turtle Boy to be like, oh, hey, I'm on your good side. And here's how much I'm on your good side. Here's a voicemail. This woman called me. And instead of calling her back and saying, sorry, I have a conflict, or just deleting her voicemail and not telling anybody about it, I'm going to send it to you to do with what I know that you're going to do. Ms. Bouquet says the unethical attorney who told us to dust off the food stamps off our law books in our migrant hotels, that's what it was, while sharing a potential client's voicemail. It will not help his case. Thank you very much, Tricia. It will not help his case. And to those of you who were in Turtle Boy's chat last night saying that hold on, because I got to pull up the receipts on this. Saying that I was accusing Nan Gallagher of sleeping with James Jackson, the YouTuber. To that I say, where's my button? Here it is, right here. What I said on my members only stream, and I know that there are, obviously people who join membership to just come in and watch the members only so that they can clip them. What I said was, why is there a rumor out there that Nan said that people think that she's sleeping with James Jackson? That is what I said. And I'm where she said it, so you can all put your panties back on and your pants back on and stop the BS that I started that rumor because I didn't. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's the Proctor stream where we left off. Here is the stream on Tom CPU's channel 12 days ago, which she said it. Okay, here you go. I'm going to play it for you a little louder for those people in the back.
Behaviors or see a certain type of, I don't condemn anyone just because I see a certain type of behavior. I don't like certain behaviors or acts, but I am as neutral. I'm more neutral than Switzerland ever was. So I just wanted to take an opportunity selfishly on your platform to say, for all of you who think, well, Nan's still friendly with JFK and James Jackson and Kevy Kev, or, well, Nan seems to still be supporting Turtle Boy. Either she's going to have Turtle Boy derangement syndrome,
right, or
she's really, truly an operative spy trying to gather intel
from
for
day one. Right.
And I heard from a friend, and admittedly, I didn't watch, but I heard from a friend that there was buzzing.
Here it is. I heard from a friend, admittedly, I didn't watch, but I heard from a friend that there was, listen.
In the chat on Turtle Boy's sex cult last night, that there were people whimsying that I'm somehow romantically involved with James Jackson. And I did hear that Aiden said some nice things about me or disavowed that. I don't know. I didn't hear it. But
and so she's the one who said that. And my question to my chat was, why are people saying that she's sleeping with James Jackson, to the point where she felt like she had to address it on Tom CPU's channel? There it is. She said it, not me. And we'll play it again a little louder for those people in the back who want to get out there. And it's interesting to me that she says that it was in the chat of Sex Cult, which I guess you have to be a member of, because I'm not. And so I haven't seen it. And I never said she was. Thank you so much. Yeah, heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. You've been messing around. I remember that song. Here you go.
There was buzzing in the chat on Turtle Boy's sex cult last night that there were people whimsying that I'm somehow romantically involved with James Jackson. And I did hear that Aiden said some nice things about me or disavowed that. I don't know. I didn't hear it. But
people out there can, people out there can say that, right?
Yeah.
And people thought I was having a thing with you. And
people thought that Tommy was having a thing with her.
It's like, no, like I can be friends with people and not like, it's not that. People can't see through what their own body or their own mind's telling them. And they're going to blame, oh my God, I'm going to blame this person for saying it's them. They're the ones that are the sick people, man.
Well, it's true. And now you make me think of something else, Tommy. So I'm going to say it because I know you won't. I'm saying past tense. It may.
This is from October 17th, 2025. Oh, that's REO Speedwagon, right?
Be present tense. There had been some friction between people on the boots on the ground, people at ground zero, and you were at one end of it and other people were at another. That's another example of someone like me, an outsider who came into this environment with no malintentions and only the best of intentions.
And I'm embarrassed for Massachusetts that you came into that.
Oh, don't
You
be.
even had to know, because we're better than that, man.
And you've
Okay. And then to the people who say that I'm jealous of Nan because I said something about her fancy cars and her mansion with a moat. No. This again on the same stream of Tom CPU from October 17th. These are Nan's words. Okay. Here you go.
Wish you nothing but good health, feel good, sending you love and prayers. I think of you all the time. And me sitting in my mansion surrounded by a moat and German and British supercars. I mean, who am I going to talk to about that? So
Right.
I love you. I love you, Boston Mike.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. Get your facts straight before you go out there and try to rile up other people's chats about things that I said. That's not what I said. And so let's take a step back, get back to the facts and the justice for John O'Keefe, because John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. Something else happened to him. He was murdered. Maybe at some point we'll find out who did it and when. Well, we know when. We just need to know who and how and who covered it up. That's what we need to do. And so, with regard to the implications of sharing that voicemail, it is my very strong opinion that it should not have been done, that I would never do it. And I guess I can't judge every other attorney by what I would do. And if you don't like my opinion on that, I suggest that you go into any other LawTubers chat. Ask Peter Tragos if he thinks that's appropriate. Ask Emily Baker if she thinks it's appropriate. Ask Bob and Ali Mata if they think it's appropriate. Whatever lawyers you listen to besides me, Andrea Burkhart, ask her if she thinks that's appropriate. Ask Mark. Well, you can't really ask Mark Betterow because he won't answer the question. In my opinion, it is completely not okay because there are special rules of ethics that apply to the potential client. It's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Canton Chronicle says, oh, hi. Hi, John. Sorry. I hope you're cool with us streaming your stream. Paul DGM Pietro used the town funds to pay to clean up Tim's Jeep. Okay, so the guy, Tim Taylor, I call him Tim the Toolman Taylor, he's the one whose dog died in the car. And then I think you don't mean Paula, right? Paul used town funds to pay to clean up his car when the dog died in it. Thank you for clearing that up. I really need to come to you because you have the facts. And by the way, the speech that you gave, I think it was 2 weeks ago about your stepdaughter and Chris Albert, and was amazing. And I put it up on Instagram. It has like 225,000 views. So let's see what happens with that. Thank you very much for your 10. And Yvette, thank you for your 20. Appreciate you. And Yvette says, love you, Mel. Today is my own cupcake's birthday. Happy 22nd birthday to Skylar. I love that name, Skylar. Stay strong, Kelsey, and Free Turtle Boy. And happy birthday to Skylar, Yvette's daughter. Thank you so very much. To Jade, who became a new member, welcome. Welcome. Let us go back to the chat. Raider Kev says, I agree with you. What if it was her personal phone and not the business line? Just curious. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If somebody calls and they say they want you to represent them as an attorney and they're calling for a consult, there are certain rules of confidentiality. It may not be privileged under the attorney-client privilege, but you have certain confidentiality rules that you should abide by in good practice. And so I wouldn't risk my license, especially because this woman, Donna, has already filed charges against Aiden. And so we know that she's litigious and that she's not going to stop. What do you think is going to happen if you send Aiden that voicemail? Think about it. And then saying that you gave him the permission to publish it, publicly saying that? I don't understand. But that's me. That's what I would do and not do. And I guess I can't, hold everyone to the same standards that I would adhere to. If somebody called me and said that they wanted to represent me to represent them in a case against Aiden Carney, I wouldn't accept it, but I also wouldn't tell him about it. Friend of Dog gifted 10 memberships. You are so kind and generous. Thank you so very much. And Utah DeVols became a member. Welcome, and welcome to the 10 new members that were so randomly and kindly gifted by friend of dog. And that is my opinion. Michael says, Melanie, would this be akin to having someone discuss a potential case and they tell you stuff, you decline to represent them, and then tell others what they said to you in the meeting? Yeah. Or it could be like, here's what happens in Hollywood and New York and other places where a lot of celebrities live when people get divorced. They used to say, go have a consult with every single high profile divorce attorney in town. Go meet with all of them, pay them their consultation fee. And once you do that, that conflicted out attorney can never represent your spouse, right? That's a thing that a lot of celebrities will do. They will go to Laura Wasser. She may be the best divorce attorney in California. They'll go to Laura Wasser. They'll meet with her. They may not hire her, but once they meet with her, her spouse is not allowed to hire Laura Wasser. And so I don't know. Marie says she's so afraid of Aiden, but called a lawyer who she knows is friendly with Aiden. Listen, I don't know what this woman knows or doesn't know, and I don't care. And I don't think that is not the point. That is not the point. It's not the point. Okay. This is not about what Donna did and who Donna called. It is about what an attorney does or doesn't do. Okay. It doesn't matter what Aiden did for purposes of this very narrow discussion. The question is it appropriate for an attorney to share a voicemail of a potential client with anyone? But in this case, the voicemail was shared with the person who is accused of harassing that exact potential client. That is the issue. It is a very narrow issue. I don't know why this woman called Nan Gallagher. I don't care why this woman called Nan Gallagher. It is a very, very, very narrow issue. Okay. And that is it. Right. And she's also a witness to the window intimidation case. So she's a witness in that case for which Aiden caught charges against Chris Albert and Colin Albert outside the window intimidation case of D&E Pizza. And so I have a very different opinion than Nan Gallagher about what she did being appropriate under the rules of ethics. And I do not think that saying there's no attorney-client relationship with this woman who called me, and so therefore I can do whatever I want with the voicemail, I do not think that that is a good argument. And look at Amy in Arizona gifting 10 memberships. She's amazing too. And welcome to all the 10 who also were just gifted. That's awesome. That's awesome. And Mike T says this was a bump. We talk about the bump all the time. I've said that I think that the grand jury subpoena that was drafted and served on Lindsay by Tully was a bump for Aiden, because we know that Aiden, he was in the chat earlier. I've said this to him. He's impulsive. And I can say this to him with love, like a little brother. Like I would tell my little brother, don't do that. Think that grand jury subpoena was 100% a bump, because Kate, Peter, Tully, and Mello knew Aiden's triggers. And they knew if they served Lindsay with a grand jury subpoena to testify against Aiden, maybe they told her to call him, but they absolutely knew that he would want to talk to her about it in person, and that then they could get them in the same location, and that then they could use them being in the same location to perhaps twist something or make something up or create a scenario in which he violated his bail to send him to jail, which is exactly what they did for 60 days. It's exactly what they did. And so I don't know who's doing the bumping here, Mike, but or if it is even such a thing, but if it was me, I wouldn't have shared it. How many people have heard this voicemail and have now started calling this woman? Like, I just don't like, does she need to have any more ammunition to go after Aiden? Like, you guys don't get it. He's still facing close to 100 years in prison with the charges that are still remaining. And now there's this other case in New Jersey. I don't know what happened with that today. Another case in New Jersey for the woman who was corresponding with Paul O'Keefe via Facebook Messenger, who then started communicating with Turtle Boy, and he did a whole show about it and a whole article about it. That woman is now pressing charges against him, I think, in Atlantic City. This woman who was selling the Turtle Boy merch is pressing the charges. Someone said, explain it to me like I'm 5, like how this would be a bump. Well, if you share something with a person and you know what their reaction is going to be, I'm not saying, I have no idea whose bump this would be, but here's just an example. Let's say this woman calls me and I'm an attorney. Yeah, he pushed it out. Right. And then I send it to him knowing this is what he does, right? He publishes things. He puts things out there on the internet. He did it just like he did with the woman who contacted him, who had been in correspondence with Paul O'Keefe. And then he told her he was going to write a story on it. And then she said, no, don't write a story on it. And then he did write a story on it because she knew that he was a journalist. And then he is now catching charges, maybe in New Jersey because of that. Knowing that he's going to publish it, right? So if you get this information and you send it to him, what do you think he's going to do with it? It's essentially, it's giving somebody something that you know they are going to use to then get themselves in trouble, like what happened with Donna Adelson, getting the bump, right? You do something, you nudge them, and you think you know what they're going to do with that nudge, and then you can catch them on something else. You see, that's it's a setup. It's a setup, basically. Thank you, Rachel. It's a setup. And so, is it this woman, Donna, that people are thinking set him up? Somebody else who they are thinking set him up? I don't know. I just find it to be not a good thing to be happening right now. And there's a lot of defending going on. And I just thought it was odd. And you guys have asked me about it. And so I'm telling you about it. As I do. All right, 5 p.m. We are coming back here, which is only 20 minutes from now. So let's take a 20-minute break. I'm going to teleport all of you over to the Maya Kowalski stream, and we are going to read through the appellate decision reversing Maya Kowalski's case and sending it back for a new trial on only certain causes of action. Proctor's pro se episode says, could Nan have been given permission from the client to send to Aiden as a bump? I don't know. I mean, I suppose anything's possible. I mean, nothing would surprise me at this point. It's an interesting theory. Thank you. Thank you very much for your super chat from across the pond. And Amy for gifting 10. You're awesome. Yes, Esme. Yes, it happened on Maya Kowalski. Very sad. Right. Okay, Lori Marie, this is a good point. Lori Marie is saying, just a thought. If Cardi B left a voicemail with a potential doctor, OBGYN, asking if he could help check her cat, even if the doctor never called her back, but shared her voicemail with a journalist, what would Cardi B do? That is a great analogy. I like it. I'm going to use it. You're awesome. We love Cardi B. Well, we love her. We loved her trial. And sometimes, every now and then, we got to pull her up. And understand that no matter who this lawyer was that did this particular act, I would have the same opinion.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, I'm here.
See? There's that. Al Dente says Donna was at the courthouse saying she's getting death threats yesterday. Which courthouse? Cat doctor, especially. Right. Like, let's say, like, she wanted to come in for a check on her pregnancy, and the doctor, well, that's attorney, that's not attorney client or potential client. That's doctor, potential patient. But yeah, I mean, I can see your point. And then told a journalist that Cardi B was pregnant. Rebecca, thank you. Says, what in the actual F? The fact that she's even in jail is beyond comprehension. It makes me mad. No reason in the planet she should be in prison. How do they get away with this? Thank you. Thank you for your Venmo. You're awesome. All right, my friends, we're going to teleport over to the 5 p.m. stream. Oh, Mary, thank you for your very... Hold on. Okay, hang on. Back to this cold case. The video is behind the scenes of Fanning and Yuri working a cold case. Those of you who wanted to look into this, Google Massachusetts State Police plus John Fanning plus David Cox, COX, and you'll get the context. The murder happened during a snowstorm. Okay, you guys are absolutely going to be digging into this because we need more information on this. Thank you, Sherilyn, for your Cash App, who just says, thank you for the expertise. And to the anonymous person on Venmo, I will send you a message on Venmo to thank you and thank you for your support. Okay, we're gonna teleport over to the 5 p.m. stream. We got a lot of reading ahead of us. Go get yourself some popcorn, get yourselves some drinks, some hydration. Everybody needs to hydrate. And when I buckle your seatbelts, when I end the stream, it's gonna send you on over there to the Maya Kowalski stream from 5 p.m. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. Triangulation is the worst. Dana says it's hard to see. Others do it. Then others try to pull you into it. Nope. Hard stop. Good for you. Boundaries live. Yes, boundaries live. Those are my boundaries. But you asked me about it, and so I'm answering you. And that is it. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. I know you can. I know you can. This should teleport you over. If not, just go to my 5 p.m. stream. Buckle your seatbelts. I love you all. Thank you, moderators, for keeping it classy. You guys are the best. And I know this is a very hard job, but I love you with all of my heart. And I'll see you in about, at this point, 15 minutes. I got to fill up my drink. Peace.